going to be Cobble. It is Flipside taking on mousesports. Again, big reminder. Loser goes home. So this is a do or die. And of course, the guys that are going to bring it to you are the Face It Boys, DDK and James. Take it away, gentlemen.
That. Tangerine.
What are you doing? Tangerine, what is this?
Tangerine, yeah, absolutely. Flipside are a team who have had quite the evolution on this map. When the map first came out, you know, if you remember back in the days when Simple was here, he'd be peeking long A with the AWP getting picked quite a lot of the time. You know, they started with a fragile, they've moved on from that, and as the desk said, they have had a good success rate on Cobblestone. They've chosen to start on the CT side, which some might argue is the less favoured side here against mousesports. So let's see what they have in plan. Actually, their captain Blade had a laptop full of text in there, and that was before the veto came in. So again, this is a team that we do see quite strategy-oriented as opposed to firepower.
He loves to counter-strat, and there's a lot to say for their CT side. And first of all, we'll have to see how mousesports attempt to break the very first round. Markov not spotted yet with the Silence USP taking one player down. There's 2, 3, and there it is. Well done, it will finish things off with the last frag as well. That's looking pretty smooth right there. And that's a pretty simple arrow. I mean, the first man, I mean, okay, you've got to check right and left, but nobody checked left, James.
Yeah, and when you see the first guy go past and the second guys are probably not going to go and double check those angles, so a fatal mistake there for mousesports. And Flipside get off to the right foot, and you saw them. I saw the guy on the end specifically shouting towards the mousesports area, so they're trying to play the psychological game down. We'll see if that pays off later on. Mousesports going to start off with the 0, going to have a bit of a buy coming in to the second round. We've got Chris J leaving $1 grand in the bank for an AWP later on. The rest of them going to go for the force. Yeah,
and it's going to be cool to see what Nico can get done with the Deagle, actually, because sometimes if you get 1-2 kills, there you go. There's number 1 from Nico, a headshot straight away onto Bondik. And things start to get a little bit dangerous because Flipside, they want to maintain the integrity of their economy. That's the big goal from this round, and not to give up a bomb plant to the other team too. And already Nico is throwing a novelty-sized wrench into the works. And what else can mousesports get done? Because they are closing in on this B bomb site now. The plant looks like it could be inevitable.
Indeed, Nico has got the split for his team in the drop zone. Going to be looking towards Markov in the chicken coop there. Shara's doing what he can to try and use that statue to his advantage, but the numbers are going down for both sides. Flipside survive with 2 plays, and it shows you the difficulty of holding the drop zone. They chose to stand outside it in case there was a rush from mousesports, but the problem was that angle, there's basically one angle you can peek from outside in the connector area, and it's going to just expose nothing but your head. So you can get pre-fired in that position, which is almost what we saw there.
The crazy thing is that they almost did get the plant there. With 3 kills, had they got the plant, they would have probably gone for a buy this round just to break Flipside. So already quite a lot of pressure, a lot of damage in from mousesports, keeping Flipside on their toes. And what did it just on a P250 this time around? Of course, he wants to get the AWP in play quickly. And this time around, just one flashbang is the only utility available for mousesports. They're going to go with a faster round, try to see if they can get the bomb down. And that's really what they're hoping to do here. Here they come, straight into the grinder. That is the rifles and the pistols of the defensive Flipside. And that will be a clean one for them, making it 3-0.
Nice play. It was very rare that you see CTs go for an aggressive peek towards T main. But knowing that the mousesports team are going to be on the eco, they got the quick information. Flashbang comes in, but weren't able to get the frags. What's important now is the buys coming out. Chris J has gone for a Krieg. Instead of an AWP. Dan, he must have chubby fingers. I can't imagine this is deliberate.
That is amazing. The Krieg getting some love from Chris J. Hey, it is a one-shot kill if you hit somebody in the head.
So he's pressed B44 instead of B45, Dan. And he's got himself a Krieg. At least he's got a nice skin for it. He's got a bulldozer.
I want to believe, James, that he's prepared the Krieg for the major. He's been honing the Krieg skills. Let's see if it pans out for him at all. I mean, of course, he's up against Warded with the AWP potentially, and as well, Flipside, they typically have had a really strong CT side due to the fact that Bondik is the master of probably one of the hardest positions CT side on any map, which is the drop zone area.
Yeah, but the good thing about the Krieg is it has 100% armor penetration, so he can put in work, and he will have the scope aim to get some chest shots in at least. He should be able to get some 2-taps. We'll see if it pays off for them. Again, because of the damage taken by Flipside in early rounds. Blade's just down to a FAMAS at the moment. So we've got mousesports moving towards A-Long at present, and with timing, Flipside are starting to move back towards the site after having initially more aggressive positions, but they have 3 players deep in the B bomb site to Flipside, so the rotation might be difficult, slow, and painful.
Yeah, I mean, mousesports starting to run a little bit low on the utility, so they really need to put in some effort now to actually take some forward positions onto the A bomb site. Looks like the A play is coming. What did they actually not get the kill from the first shot though? But Chris J will take some damage with that creep, trying to get the entry in there. But so far the entries are not coming too easily here for mousesports. But that said, what are they not able to get the frags that he must get? Now mousesports really closing in on this bomb site. Blade behind the smoke. What damage can he do? 1 frag. There's the second one as well. Blade doing a good job, but just 2 players left now in Shara and Markelov, as that bomb will be planted. And now it's all about waiting for Shara before Markelov can pincer in there from the double doors.
The CT flanks are very long indeed. The longer the fuse time will give some help with that. All 3 players on the site, lots of smokes to dance around. Got more nades coming in as Shara tries to see if there's anybody lurking behind him. He's going to get shot in the back, so it's down to Markelov versus 3. Not going to be easy here. He needs to get himself some 1 versus 1. Doesn't get traded because he's got the APC there. He's got 2 down now, but he's only got 4 bullets left in the chamber. Is he going to go for it? He doesn't have time to reload really. Doesn't get a pistol out, gets the headshot, but is he going to get close to the bomb in time? He can't find it. He's going to run away. I think he may be looking for an AWP there, I don't know, but either way, Flipside retain the clean sheets, but again, another expensive round, so if mousesports are able to break them at some point in the near future, then perhaps they can get a bit of momentum going. But for now, Chris J getting the Krieg in sort of the... Oh, what am I talking about? Sorry, mousesports took the round. So let's see what the money's looking like for the CTs here. They're going to have a buy coming out regardless, while it's still on the AWP. The Scout coming out for Speedy, so still no big green gun for Chris J.
And one thing to note too, you know, of course they lost the round, but in Markelov getting those 3 kills at the end, what that means though is that mousesports spent all their bank in this round. So if somehow Flipside are able to win this round, and of course they still have 1 decent buy left, they reset mousesports. So this is a really, really painful round for either team to lose. They're both in the position of getting reset. So neither of them wants that. And Chris J is on the scout. Of course he is pretty damn good with that, but I'm curious as to how they will find the opening. They are putting a lot of players towards the A side of the map, walking down middle at the moment towards the danger area as well. And so far, Flipside, they're playing a pretty passive setup here. They're not going to get too many shots off before mousesports are on the bomb site.
With Wadad's positioning, indeed actually, I don't know if he can go for a re-peek from there. He might have to just retreat, but it seems mousesports are going to clear a certain amount of real estate and then move back to see what's going on towards B. We'll see if they leave Nex in position or if he is going to follow as well. So again, they know Flipside are playing passive, but they don't really have any info on where the numbers are, and the numbers are indeed where they are headed at present. You can see Shara is on the B platform at the moment. There's 1 Molotov on the mousesports side. We'll see if they choose to use it there, or if they go for an execute and throw it towards the tree where Markelov is standing.
Yeah, they're taking this very slow. There's actually a lot of spots where they could have run, and it wouldn't be possible for the CTs to hit them, but not many teams are doing that these days either way. It's like they are pressuring in now to the B-bomb site. Shara, will he be discovered in this position? He's actually still alive there with the silenced M4. He's going to go for the first engagement. He'll win that one. 3 frags going the way, 4 frags going the way of Flipside, and this push is pretty much destroyed. Next goes down at the end, and interesting situation from mousesports. So I'm not quite sure what they were going for, considering
I think they messed up their Molotov, because they hit the box and basically went into the crack, which slowed their own push, whereas they must have wanted to get it where Shara was standing, which would have forced him out of his position, and then he doesn't get those 2 kills.
But it's interesting too, like the way that they opened up the round. 5 players sort of playing the trades, just trying to get some map control, but they weren't even showing presence there. So, I mean, they didn't even see anyone from Flipside. So Flipside, they had no information. So there's nothing for mousesports to really fake with. They just kind of walk to the other side of the map. So interesting with the delayed B timing. And this puts Flipside in a great position. They just have to have this round be clean now.
Yeah, again, Shara's going for the aggressive peek to get the information when they're expecting mousesports to be on the eco. Mousesports have bought up, they're looking to do damage to the CT economy. They know it's still wearing a bit thin. You can see Bondik on the site now just playing around the corner, trying to get himself a 1 versus 1 engagement, but will he know if this boost is coming in from Chris J? Markel's going to make the save there, but we've got Nex doing some work as well. Speedy will fall to the flames. Another expensive round for Flipside, but they've got a 4-round advantage now.
Yeah, luckily for them, the bomb didn't go down. So, you know, whilst mousesports could, if they wanted, still buy a couple pistols, they can't really buy anything much more than that. So this round should be the one for Flipside to really build some solid bank from. And mousesports have been doing a good job in keeping them honest with that economy, because Flipside right now, the richest player is voted it on 3K. Most other players have between 300 and 1500. That is not a good place to be. So they can't afford to lose anyone in this round. It's really crucial. And
I'm wondering if they're going to go aggressive B again, because they would have heard some deagles out in the last round, so they should assume that there was a bit of a force buy. But of course, they don't want to go to the well too many times, so Shara will be a bit more passive and just go for the grenade timing, as it could be reasonable to assume that mousesports might try to face him with numbers. But again, they have 4 Glocks, 1 flashbang, and a P250. But it's good that they've invested in the flashbang. Perhaps that can get them a plant.
Yeah, looking to storm the site now. We have a nice setup here from the CTs. Shar and Markelov taking frags apiece until there's nobody left standing on the mousesports side. And that's going to be the 6-1 scoreline, as now mousesports will be looking to pick themselves up a bye. And I'm quite curious, what will be their choice here in strategy? If you're going towards A, you're up against, World Edit with an AWP. How do you, what do you have in place for that to deal with him? And if you go towards the B area, you're really putting a lot of stock in trying to break drop zone, and there you have Bondic to deal with, and he's of course quite formidable. And with 6 rounds already, Flipside are in a really good spot.
It is curious as to why they got so close to the A bomb site and chose to rotate to B, where there's more than likely going to be more players. Seems they kind of out-strategized themselves in that situation, but we'll find out if they can make the relevant adjustments. The AWP will only be held by World Edit in this round. Again, we have Flipside using the tree position, which can help in terms of avoiding flashbangs, also getting the high ground on opponents moving through the crack. You can see Nico looking for an entry here. That nade is not going to be nice for him. Half his HP gone, hasn't seen anybody yet. Has a quick look towards the tree, but I think that smoke may have just obscured his vision. More counter nades coming in. Actually, Flipside using a lot of their utility here. They still have, however, 4 smokes in the bag and a number of flashbangs, so mousesports may be held for a while.
Yeah, all the smoke's going down here for Flipside. Just 2 left now. And mousesports starting to rotate some players down towards the A side of the map. But of course, because they had nobody there initially, they don't know if any CTs could be pushed in that area, so they're taking it a little bit slowly. And this does actually give some extra time for Flipside to try to work out where are these T players going. And again, there's a lot of spots to actually run, kind of where the Dragon Lore painting is on the map.
This is a massive problem for mousesports. They can't really go through this smoke, so they're forced to cancel their strategy and go back towards the B bomb site. But because Shara's position is so aggressive towards B, they're moving Markelov and Bondic back towards A. Can they get back to B in time? Shara's going to have a few extra seconds. He's actually going to go for the peek. He's hearing the legs, going to get a frag while World Edit's holding an angle. 2 go down. There's the 3rd. There's only 1 player in position now, Chris J, and he is carrying the bomb as well. Down he goes in trade to World Edit, and there's Dennis alone versus 4 Flipside players, and you can hear them below us. That is a massive round for them. Last round they survived with all their players intact. This time they move in with 4. This is superb for their economy. They're out of the danger zone for now.
Yeah, and the problem here, and the kind of genius with Flipside, is that Flipside not really giving any chance for somebody like Nico to do anything even, because what you need to be able to do is to get Nico onto the bomb site and into these spots where he can be able to frag. And there's not a lot of spots that Flipside are really giving mousesports to actually allow an individual to do all that much just yet. Mousesports are having real problems enabling their players, enabling the likes of Nico and Chris J. They can't even, I mean, we haven't really seen much damage coming out of the platform or much approach from there. Same can be said when they're pushing in towards A. They seem to be very passive towards the start. Then they go for the big hit and they walk straight into the setups. It's as if we're seeing a complete control out of Flipside.
Yeah, but we've seen 2 rounds now where, again, mousesports, they went all the way towards A. They had control of danger and relevant areas towards the bomb site where they could go for a split with their entire team. They didn't see anybody. They didn't make their presence known. And then they all moved back to B where they had no map control, no information as to where the CTs might be. And it didn't work out for them. Then they basically did the same thing in reverse, but because despite throwing so many Molotovs flashbangs towards the B bomb site, Flipside still had 4 smokes. So with perfect timing, they moved back towards A, and they get smoked off from the underpass. They're not willing to go to even put 1 person through there, so they just all walk back. And because of the map control they've lost, you saw Flipside had their aggressive positionings on the balcony, on the platform or plateau, if you will. Initially, then Shara moves up close, hears them running because they're running out of time because everything is not working out for them. So, yeah, I mean, Flipside are playing doing a good job of the tactics at the moment.
And that's kind of a funny thing too, because Flipside are allowing mousesports to undo themselves. Because you're saying, because there's no presence, like usually presence can, if you provide presence, if you create some sound, if it's, to the CTs it sounds like, okay, there could be 1 or 2 or 3 terrorists in that side of the map. you're forced to potentially use smokes. And on a map like Cobble, it's actually quite hard to push for information. So that's can be even more powerful then, because it's hard to then actually confirm whether or not those guys are actually there. So by providing the presence, you force them to use nades and maybe even fall back into more passive positions. Then they have even less information, and their rotation will be even slower because they know it's going to hit them with less time in advance. And right now, as you said, Flipsid3, they're able to just sit back and just not have to deal with any of that, because they can keep 4 smokes alive till the really late stages of the round. That tells you that mousesports are playing it incorrectly.
6th round lead. mousesports have bought a number of items and left themselves with an average of about $2,000, which is a discussion, I think, that can go further, but there's a time and a place. So we can see they've got 3 flashbangs and a smoke, so it looks like they will be trying to get a bomb plant down in this round towards the B bomb site, perhaps with a split through the drop zone. And indeed, they've taken the drop zone now, so the split is on.
Here we go. Got Markov behind the boulder. Shara close as well, trying to hold players coming from the platform area. There are the first couple of frags going the way of Flipside. Looking not too shabby, actually, for mousesports. 2 players in, though. Forward position. The bomb goes down, but all that's left now is Dennis, and Blade is in a much too advanced position for Dennis to have time to get himself a chance at a frag as well as a bomb plant. But at least the bomb goes down, and that's some extra cash in the bank for mousesports. However, so far, they've not shown that the cash in the bank is helping them, because when they get the chance to play the weapons, their strategies seem to be a really big issue.
Well, now they start with 6 to 7k, so Chris J is not going to buy the Krieg on this occasion. In fact, it will be double ops coming out from mousesports, so it looks like they're going to go for a picking play. I'm curious as to double op on T side of Cobble. Really interesting, actually. I can only guess they will perhaps hold outside A long to begin with, and then maybe start to move in to try and get a pick, and maybe one on the plateau towards B as well.
It would be really nice to see a player like Nico enable him on platform and get him to at least bait grenades out, and get him into a spot where he can start fragging. That would be really good to see. But it is indeed Nico who is towards the B side of the map at the
towards
moment.
A long, yeah.
But Nico is playing quite passively at the moment, and looks like mousesports are going to go for finally some positional plays, trying to take away some map control away from the CTs, but welded it. He's yet to really be challenged, and this is going to be interesting to see if he's going to win these first duels. Are the pop flashes going to be good? He's got a great angle, but he's going to miss the shot towards the elbow of Chris J. Welded it, though. He's going to get the support. The flashbang's good, and welded it. One after another. 2 players down already. mousesports in a huge degree of trouble.
Marvelous.
Chris J, he's got no support now. Does he go and commit, or does he fall back? We've got the trade coming in next, and Blade. Nico is still alive now, and he's rotated as well. But Flipside are all over this.
Yeah, it's a 4 versus 2. The flank is coming in, which means they can put the... well, never mind, they're all going down. So we're down to a 2 versus 2. Nico's got 12 HP, so it's got to be careful. There is a player on the site holding a passive angle. That is Bondic. So he's just going to be waiting for a plant. With 2 ops as well, this is going to be very hard for mousesports unless they get a pick with a Flipside player moving out of position. Shara's just holding the flank, which means it's down to Bondic. Is he going to have to hold an angle where he can see them going towards the door? He can't really, but Chris J looks like he's about to walk into Bondic's reticle. And this is going to peek where first? Well, he gets tagged in the shoulder. But where is the second player for Flipside? That is the question mousesports are now asking.
And Bondic will finally go down. 10 seconds left to go for the plant. Shara gets the kill and the second one as well. And it won't even need to be playing the time there, because both frags will come his way. And it was quite smart of Chris J to take that angle along the APC, because that spot where Bondic was hiding is, if you're out of time, you're just going to pray that no one's there. Because you don't have time to check everywhere. But he did take a really good angle. But mousesports not with much time there.
It was great positioning from Wilder. Again, if the passive angle he had previously, where he was basically in the A bomb site, doesn't allow him to go for the repeaks, but because of all the little corners, nooks and crannies, when he's closer towards danger, he can repeak for days. And while crouch peeking was nerfed with that massive AWP nerf, at that kind of range, he can go for the fast crouch peeking similar to before. Paid off for them. Looks like we're going to have a fast play from mousesports. We do have another buy come in. It's a UMP and a Galil in play. And again, the nades are absolutely wrecking at the mousesports side now. Nex has left the building. The rest of his team look committed now. Got the nades and Molotovs come into where Markelov was previously. But again, Flipside keep changing things up.
Yeah, this is everybody from B platform right now. On Flipside have everyone in the bomb site. This is going to be very difficult for mousesports to pick up the kills. Bondic will take down Dennis behind the smoke. And now it's a 5 versus 3 as we have Nico trying to work with his teammates here. He's going to be boosted up onto the tree position, and he's going to have to do so much work by himself. Nico, there's one frag. He needs to get more than that. Trying to get himself that third, but it's not going to go his way. 3 players even still left standing for Flipside. That looked way too convincing, with no way to split the defense, with no one going drop zone. It looked as though they made it all too easy for Flipside.
It sounds like a strongman invitational in the Flipside camp. Massive shouting after big rounds. I've never seen so many flashbangs. The mousesports initial push was slow because they had loads of flashes flying in. They were stuck on the plateau for a while. Then all the wall of smokes comes in. Boosts attempted, but there's a 9-round lead. Flipside are stomping all over this. Bear in mind, if mousesports lose this, they are done. They are going home. They are having early baths, and so on and so forth. So we have an AK and armor onto Nico. The rest of his team just down to pistols. Again, we've got a few flashes, a few smokes. While they're just going to see the information. We'll see at least 2 players coming the way of Blade. He's going to get a nice smoke down there and punish the players for going through the smoke. Chris J first with the bomb. That's a complete disaster. Next going to trade after 2.
Yeah, having to run through a smoke like that is not good times, especially against an M4A4. And this round looks done and dusted at this point. You got What Did It taking down Spiddy. Vondik is towards the bomb, and that is that. 11-1. mousesports seem to be in such a terrible position at the moment. The CT side for many teams can be the harder side to play, but of course we saw Flipside picking the CT side. They're so well versed on this map. They're so confident. You can see why. mousesports have a lot of work to do, and what the problem as well is that they haven't really found anything that really works. The fast pace doesn't seem to help them out when they're going for the pick-based plays, doesn't seem to help them out when they're trying to take map control, use flashes against, you know, Well Did It. He's on point. Where is the solution here?
Dennis has 1 kill. Spiddy has 2. Chris J has 4. That's not the solution, Dan.
No, indeed it is not.
So what is the play from mousesports here? Nothing whatsoever has worked for them so far. We have 3 mousesports players playing passive towards the A site where there is a smoke in the underpass. Chris J and Nico around the drop for the time being. And again, Flipside are mixing up their positions all over the place. Shara was playing on the plateau, now he's playing underneath the crack in the wall over there. Blade was playing towards A long, now he's playing close, having a look at the doors, and he's got Well Did It to cover his angle. And Flipside, that's something that they're really good at doing. Like on a cache A, for example, on the T side, they'll have 2 people peeking the angle while they're in the back with the AWP should things go a bit bad. So Shara's moving into a more aggressive position now as the time continues to tick. There's 1 minute on the clock here, and mousesports are starting to move towards speed with not much information.
Yeah, and considering how late this is, and it's already 11-1, they need every single round. Nico has actually found himself in drops, so this is pretty good because, you know, Nico, being one of the power players for the team, he's going to be able to, you know, bust through if he finds a good timing and do a lot of damage, maybe to the CTs that could be distracted from the push that comes on platform. That's what this is designed for. It's all about the coordination from mousesports. They must make this work. And here you go, the smoke goes off on drop zone to buy the CT some time here as the push comes in on the platform. And these smokes are doing a pretty good job at isolating the CTs, and Nico's still in position by drop. This round looks like it could go quite well for mousesports. They just have to hit the shots at this point, but Bond is going to go straight through the smoke. He's discovered Nico. He's still lurking in there. And it looks like the bomb will finally go down. 4 versus 3 now in favor of mousesports.
Nico is flanking the players, though. He is behind the door in the connector, as you can see there. So we might have very few Flipside tactic players left. Going for a 2-man spray down. Won't find it, though. Getting traded. The T's finally double their score. 11-2 in favor of Flipside. 3 players surviving for the T side. Chris J continues with the AWP, which will be really important. But Flipside not short of money right now. So we only have 2 rounds remaining. Double ops coming up for the CT side. Markelov going to pick one up. That should be special. We'll see where he is headed. A rare treat, perhaps.
It's funny because of this late, you know, you've got 1 round that actually worked much better than the others. They managed to slide Nico into that drop zone. I'm almost would be surprised if they didn't go for a similar kind of round, as that was the most convincing that we've seen from them. But perhaps, you know, Chris J, if he can get a quick pick here towards the B plateau, that's going to make life easier for them. And Flipside playing a little bit more aggressively towards A long this round as well.
Markelov being boosted up on the A platform. Chris J's double scoped in now. He should see the arm if Markelov continues to move. It should be a free kill. But is he willing to hold his angle? It's actually really hard to see through those grenades, which is why you can see them used on Dust 2 to move into position. But there we go. Markelov is going to lose the battle there with Chris J. So an early advantage for mousesports.
And this is really key too. This is that spot where the in-game leader should have a really good time. 5 versus 4, lots of time to play with. You force the CTs to split 2 and 2 typically. Sometimes on a map like this, you'll see the CTs gamble towards, you know, 3 players towards B. especially because they got a player pushed, that is well did it, on A long. They can actually take that risk quite happily because Wilded has not seen or heard anything so far, and rightly so. Everyone from mousesports towards this B area, and there's the first defensive kill coming in from Shara. They've confirmed the play. mousesports are being slowed down by the grenades. This looks really good for Flipside at the moment, but Bondic will go down. Nico putting in work towards the drop zone, and he could be the key man to keep this round going in the favor of mousesports. And it's like Nico will go down in the end. 3 versus 3, the bomb still not down.
Nobody behind enemy lines now for the T's. Dennis is going to pick up where Nico left off, getting the frag onto Wilded. Another boost coming in for mousesports. Can they find the player towards the door, though? That's a good flash coming in, but it's avoided by Shara. He's going to get taken down by Dennis, leaving Blade alone versus 3. So let's see. There's not much money. There's 1 round left after this, and there isn't much money on the Flipside team, so we'll see what he chooses to do here. Looks like he's going to go for it. He's going to try and isolate the players by getting a smoke down, trying to stop himself from being traded. Just checking if there's any flanks, and perhaps he will opt to save after all.
Absolutely. The 3 rounds, like getting the 3 rounds is such a big difference as well, because it means if you do lose that pistol, at least you can get 1 buy round in. Okay, sure, you'll have to try to get all the way to overtime, but at least you can have that option of having one actual buy round. Either way, it's definitely not a good look for mousesports despite winning this round. And oh no, they're going to see Blade just taking down Dennis right at the end there, trying to pick up a better weapon as well. There is the man Blade, the in-game leader for Flipside Tactics, and so far in this tournament he's been doing a pretty good job of leading his team despite that loss to NIP previously in the group. So 11-3. Will we see another opener from Chris J, or will we see Flipside be a bit more wary of that?
So Markelos got a armor, a CZ, a smoke, and a flash. And that is all. The rest of his team are going to have rifles, so they've managed to get a reasonable buyout here. We'll see if mousesports can get a 4th round on the board. Chris J's lining up a smoke, which perhaps means they're going to go for an execute. You can see Bondic's been boosted up here, so he could just wreck them as soon as they start moving. Well, that it is quite close actually, so it looks like Flipside's going to get really aggressive. The bomb is spotted as well, so he can just hold his position or move back and try and defend the bomb site, because mousesports may feel compelled to push here.
Yeah, I love that from Bonnie. They didn't get greedy, goes for the first frag, and now it's going to force mousesports to go for the push, but they're out without Chris J, and they are falling like flies, going 1 by 1, and that's at the 12-3 first half. Flipside looking very, very strong. That one simple aggressive move, it was the first time they did something like that, completely caught them off guard, and it's all because they put everyone towards platform.
I think that shout at the end translates to nice, nice! The mousesports side is completely silent at the moment. People just taking a drink. Coach isn't saying much either, so I know he's starting to talk now. So we'll see what they have to offer. There's not going to be much chance to offer anything. And again, they are playing the CT side now on the pistol with only 3 rounds on the board, so they are definitely going to be on the back foot. They're going to have to play to the tune of Blade and Flipside.
Yeah, this is so difficult to deal with. Like, the CT side is usually very hard because we didn't see it that much from mousesports, but some of these, well, we saw it a little bit later on, but the fast, snappy executes, it's just the chaos, that sometimes if you just miss those first couple bullets and then you die, then all of a sudden on the B-bomb site, then your 2 teammates have to look in 3 different directions, and then their life gets significantly harder, and it can be the chaos, any team can take those rounds. So the thing is that there's no buffer of rounds for them to work with. They only managed to pick up 3 in the end. So I have no idea what they're possibly going to do, because Flipside could do the craziest of rounds. They could just rush B every single round without grenades potentially, and eventually pick up enough rounds. They can just do anything they want.
Yeah, in the pistol round, they're basically at the complete mercy of Flipside because they have so few rounds. After that, then maybe they can take an initiative. For example, if they lose it, they're going to probably have to force at that point, and they can try and try and get back into things and dictate the pace if they can get something going. But it's not going to be easy, regardless.
Oh no!
I mean, what happens.
Let's look at it this way as well. If all of that wasn't bad enough, and let's assume that the level of in-game leading is terrible, and that maybe the call is just B every round, just no stop, be no stop. You've got Blade on the task. He's been watching demos. He's going to know some of the tendencies and weaknesses of mousesports on a map like this. Of course, Blade's going to know what's up. So now you're going to be playing in a situation where the in-game leader is on the T side, so he's way more enabled to do stuff with his team and to pick at your weaknesses. So
didn't they have 2 coaches, mousesports?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Well, again, they are at the mercy of Flipside's T pistol now. We've got 3 Kevlars on the Flipside team. Blade and Wilder that are going to be the nade men. Blade has a Molotov, which again often suggests an A execute, but there is a B execute, but there are still 2 people holding passive A, maybe feeling, maybe smelling the desperation of the mousesports players.
Yeah, it is a scary situation.
Have you ever smelled desperation, Dan? It doesn't smell good.
Well, I'll have to take your word for it, James. See that so far Flipside are just kind of just seeing if they get some early info here. Are there going to be any early pushes from mousesports?
In-game camera misses Heather Garozzo. Boom. Sorry for interrupting you.
Yeah, it was a slow round, so you can interrupt me as much as you want.
Well, I think Bondik saw a player there, just chose to hide behind the rock because obviously the range advantage is with the USP S's. Which I wonder if we'll see the return of the Julies on the T side to try and increase the range of the one-taps on the pistol. But no Julies on this round. What did it? Spotting a player will suggest something with his smoke grenade. In fact, the bomb has moved towards mid now, towards the A site, and it seems that Markelov, who has taken over the drop zone, may come in for a late flank for his team. Here comes the push.
I mean, they're doing such a late round, really making mousesports sweat. Mousesports, this is insanely important for them to win this. And there is next, takes down 2 by the APC, looking for the 3rd, but Wilder's grenade is going to smack him down.
NBA.
So it looks like a 3 versus 3 now, as Flipside have taken the bomb through connector, sneaky stuff, and meanwhile, Markelov has basically the rotation covered. He could just hide behind the doors and trap everyone. Wilder, it will delay the opposition slightly, and there's just enough time to get that bomb planted. And here comes the cavalry. Mousesports all arriving now towards the drop zone all together. There's Markelov. He's going to find himself the first headshot. What else is he going to pick up? Looks like no more, but Blade is there to do the damage. 1 headshot for him, and he needs just 1 more to finish this round. And he can play the time as well. Nico, he does have a kit. Now he's going to be chasing Blade around the statue. Who's going to get the frag? It's going to be Nico with that USP, and with the kit he'll have plenty of time to get the defuse. Nico, once again, he's going to be saving mousesports, but I don't know, this is way too much for Nico to handle all by himself.
A clutch master who can. I'm not going to... There's no criticism to be done of Blade there. I think he was trying to peek as the guy was going to presumably fake the defuse there, which is quite reasonable. He could have probably just walked around the statue as well, but there we go. Sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. So, what will Flipside do? There's not much being purchased on the side at the moment. We've got Blade with a Deagle. The rest of his team have gone for some P250s. So it seems they are not going to try and force it up and force after force after force and just wait for a big buy.
Yeah.
They got the plant. They can bring the AKs next round. That said, again, they've spent so much money here, but they haven't got a single flashbang. So one would, I'd like to see more teams get a few, perhaps like a 1 less P250, 1 more flashbang, something like that. Try and help yourselves get onto the site and get a plant down. Give yourselves those extra grenades or that AWP or whatever it is for the following round.
I like this too from Flipside because essentially, you've got a team which they're going to play strong buy rounds, or their buy rounds will be stronger than let's say teams that really focus individual skill, whereby if you pick up the pistols, if you do go for a force and play a faster round, the individual skill comes more into play, and surviving the chaos comes more into play than the tactical concerns. But Flipside's a very tactical team. When they get those AKs, they're going to be able to have a huge impact.
Ooh. Well, they've reached so far up A long that they're going to make a play towards A itself, which is going to be easier than the funnels in B because they can basically creep up and split the site without anybody noticing because of the passive positions from mousesports. They're only going to have 2 people on the site here. This might not go well for them. But Chris J has some high ground, so perhaps he will spot Blade there. They seem to maybe have an inkling of what might be going on, and he's going to get dinked completely exposed to the whole site. So it's Dennis versus 5 to try and hold the site for mousesports.
Yeah, mousesports. They need to survive here. They've already lost 2 players, 3 players. The economic damage is severe, and they may even lose this round. We've got Nex now coming up from the balcony, and this is not the best position. At least Nex has an M4. He's going to be jumping into the pistols. He'll get both kills there. Nex with the 3rd as well. Bondik's going to go down. He'll clean it up single-handedly, and the save will come in for mousesports. That's a great clutch from Nex, but to be honest, All Flipside wanted there was 1 or 2 frags just to pressure the economy. They're going to have a bye next round no matter what, but now they've got the plant and 3 kills. If they take down mousesports in the next round, mousesports are pretty much done in this match.
We are, what, 2 rounds into the CT side? It's looking pretty ropey for mousesports. The fact that Flipside were able to get so close on a Nico without using a single grenade. I mean, it was a 5-on-2 situation. Chris J, obviously, he's standing on the high ground to try and see people coming through the door, but he gets dinked from long. So the angles, like, I don't know how much they've practiced this, but it doesn't seem to be working out, and now comes the buy from Flipside. So again, it's going to be painful. Speedy, Dennis have no grenades. We saw how many grenades Flipside had on a lot of their CT rounds, and it's early, but we might not get to see late from mousesports if things don't go their way.
Yeah, mousesports can't afford to buy if they lose this. This is a really severe situation. Gets a couple timing nades there from mousesports, throwing into HEs when they predict Flipside could have pushed up to that location, but Flipside a little bit slower with the pace than those grenades.
You saw Flipside just threw out one solitary flashbang into the site there, maybe trying to bait more of the utility from the CT side, what little they already have.
And the positioning here is quite cool. We've got a little triple man setup towards the drop zone. So playing quite tight to one another with these rifles, and it looks like Flipside are trying to edge their way in now. And Flipside, one of the things they're really good is coordinating attacks. That's one of their trademarks. We'll have to see if mousesports can hold such aggression when it finally decides to arrive.
Chris J was holding pretty deep towards A-Long. The second he looked away is the second that it peaked, but it is just making sure there's no flank coming in. Again, Markelov is inside the drop zone, and we've seen this yesterday as well. When the T's get a drop zone for free, it proves pretty brutal. Shara's going to take down Nico towards the B site as well. Is that going to cause a rotation? In fact, the bomb is moving towards A now, and it's starting to creep up A-Long again, where Chris J's holding an angle, takes him down, but it's left with 16 HP. Now the bomb, it seems, will head back towards B since they have no eyes on A.
Yeah, smart choice, and as they had the drop zone, as you mentioned, they're all just going to pile out of the drop zone, and now mousesports are running what the hell's going on because they're all just sneaking through connector into the A bomb site. This is not a good look here. Next needs to do something massive. He's going to take down Shower to kick things off. He's the most healthy player. The rest of his teammates, although there are 2 of them, are very low on health. It's going to be headshots for days, and next is going to go down. This is going to be tough from this point forwards now. Blade and Bondic with good post-plant positions. The Molotov coming into the double doors, and Spiddy with it all to do. Smoked off. There's flames everywhere. And his team cannot buy now in the next round. So he's just going to fall back, pick up the AK, and at least try to take the AK into the following round. But this is looking amazing for Flipside. That was such a smart play too. As you said, Chris J lurking towards long. If he could have got the kill there, it would have been just a straight up A hit. But having the option as well of drop zone, that's the cool thing though, is that they left so many options available for themselves that, okay, if plan A doesn't go according to plan, then we can just have this option straight away. Just don't even have to decide. If you conversely look at mousesports T side, when their original plan didn't come into fruition, they were lost.
Looking at the mousesports team, and it seems there's a bit of a force going on. Nex and Chris J have currently got 2k in the bank. Spiddy, Nico, and Dennis have bought up. So they're going to have 2 rifles in play. Nico's going to have the second one. Dennis going to continue with the AK-47. They've got 2 smokes, no flashbangs, 3 HEs. I don't know if you favour flashbangs over HEs in this situation. If there's a play towards B, then those HEs can come in handy because it is quite the choke points.
But we do have a triple stack towards the A-long area, and that's where the majority of Flipside are going, so maybe mousesports could get something done here. It's going to take some nice shots, sure, but they got players in the right position, and there you go. Dennis picks up the kill onto Bondic, and the bomb is down towards the A site, but that said, Blade is found themselves incredibly forward positions. This is going to be tricky for mousesports because they might have no idea about this.
Oh, but Chris Chase flanking, and the bomb is down. He is about to spot it, I do believe. Indeed, he sees the bomb there, and now Flipside are in a very sticky situation indeed. Mousesports have 3 rifles, could pick up a 4th. Down goes Wilder as well, so just Blade and Markelov remaining. There's a lot for them to do. Blade's putting in work as well. They can get themselves in some 1 versus 1s and get right back into this round. Bomb is going to be collected, and Spiddy's been spotted, so the only question is now, where is Nico? They can move together to try and trade, and they'll need to because Markelov has only got 16 HP, but Blade is going to trail behind just to make sure nobody's going for the flank, but he should be coming in to join his teammates, surely, because he's got the bomb and less than 20 HP.
Yeah, this is looking quite interesting with 30 seconds left. Flipside will have to get themselves a move on. Starts to be a bit more hurried. And here you go, Blade moving up first. He's going to spot one player. That's a really big deal to spot one of the two players already. Blade just going to try to challenge for the kill. Nico's going to spray them both down as they line up. So Nico will end things there. But I think mousesports should have been able to pick up that round more cleanly after the initial openers. There was a situation where we had Nex behind Blade, and Blade wasn't looking for about a second, and he just whiffed all his shots. Blade could turn around and kill him, and then Blade got a follow-up frag. And they nearly won the round because of that. So a bit of sloppiness from mousesports in that round, but they win it nonetheless. Doesn't matter if it's sloppy, they just need to get the W here. It's all that counts.
Two-man spray down from Nico, ever the talisman for mousesports, who still trail Flipside by 7 rounds. Flipside, though, reduced to the pistols, and we do see that one flashbang coming out from them on this occasion. Mousesports don't want to lose any players right now. Flipside were in a similar situation in the first half and managed to hold with 5 and then hold with 4 in the following round, and then away they went. Can mousesports do the same? We've got 2 players moving towards the drop zone at present, while then it's lurking towards A, where mousesports have changed their setup once again, but it seems that they might have a better grasp on their angles, lines of sight, etc. So this should be a better anti-eco from them.
Yeah, this is cool if mousesports can win this one without losing too many players. Because the money's starting to get to a spot where they can really start to afford some, a lot of weaponry, all the nades, so they can start to play some setups they're comfortable with. And indeed, they're going to clean things up with 5 players still left alive. So this is, they can enter the realms of comfort somewhat when it comes to their buys, which is really, really nice. The only downside, of course, is that Flipside only need 3 rounds to win. So we're going to see Flipside buying up in this one. And they don't actually have enough money for the full set of grenades, and there's only 1 Molotov as well. So Flipside probably will play a faster round just because they have less utility.
So Flipside start with 4 people heading over towards the B bomb site. You do wonder if that Molotov will make its way over towards the end of plateau, which is something mousesports failed to do, or if it's going to go towards the tree a bit later on. We will have to see again. Chris J's playing aggressive long A on his own, but he's not going to be challenged just yet. Flipside will hold their angles and give mousesports an opportunity to serve themselves up on their respective planks. But for now, both teams will be holding formation. We'll see around what time Flipside start to move ahead. They've got 3 people around the platform at the moment, even passive towards plateau. Got Bondic holding an angle just in case any boosts come in. That would be where their head would appear, and it would be promptly ripped off by the man himself. Got flames for days at present. Minutes on the clock now as Markov starts to move into the drop.
You can see Nico, I can see Nico on my screen just repositioning there. So they're changing the setups on mousesports as they're starting to get a bit antsy, and that's going to be perfect. Nico able to actually provide some support to Nex here to get the double man drop defense. And with that panning out for mousesports, Flipside are going to change their plan up. They're going to go straight for the A hit now, and we've got Dennis in a very key position here by the APC. Flashes come out, smokes go down to make life difficult for Flipside on the approach. Chris J on the site as well. This mousesports defense looks very formidable. Lots of time bought for mousesports to rotate in for the A defense, but once again, they're going to be circumvented as the bomb is making its way down connector into the B bomb site. So mousesports rotating too well, perhaps too much, as the bomb can find its way onto the B bomb side. But that 2 versus 4 situation, which should inevitably be happening, it's going to be tough to deal with. But that said, well did it. This time doing a bit more damage than the previous round that looked like this.
He held the entire team there until the bomb was planted, and they still have 2 people trying to take him down because his angle stops him from getting into the door. Nico's still having to hold there. Well, that it is line dancing for club and country right now. Finally goes down, and mousesports can start the push. They've got 3 players, man advantage, 2 kits as well. Make that 2-man advantage. Bondic only has 9 HP. How much damage can he do to the CT side? Down goes Dennis. The bomb's not far from him either. Doesn't have any Molotovs, which would be great. The defuse has to come in now, and Nico will hold the angle, so mousesports just about survive the test. Flipside are doing some Metal Gear Solid level stuff where they're just walking around in boxes and passing the defenses down.
That was so cool. It's really cool to not only see that once from Flipside, but it happened twice there. That's really awesome. Of course, we saw it first on the pistol round, and just the cognizance from the team to understand that they're able to just hit that play up straight away is really cool. And now we're going to see that 13-8. So mousesports is barely scraping a win there, but the bomb did get planted. So Flipside perhaps a little bit of a quasi, just a few pistols for some damage onto the economy of mousesports, before we then see the buy in the following rounds. So mousesports starting to, claw some rounds back, but it does still feel like the flip side victory is somewhat inevitable.
Yeah, Nico's doing a lot here. He is pushing them forward on a flaming chariot at the moment, but I don't know if it's going to make it to the finish line and the adoring fans, the flowers, the petals, the sandals. Down goes Shara. It is Flipside on Eco once again. Markelov has the flashbang. Other than that, we've got pistols here and there. Blade favouring the Deagle once more. Again, damage is going to be the name of the game here. I think a bomb plant would be a bonus at this point. See that flash get used now again. We've got Wildered lurking towards a 15 HP, but he's got a Tech 9, so again, damage can be done. No damage done as of yet, though, but Spiddy's down to 1 HP. Down to a single pixel of health. And Flipside are now running right over towards the A bomb site. We've got Markelov and Blade. I don't know how they've got to this position, but they've managed to take Dennis down. Again, Speedy on 1 HP. This could get a bit tricky. Chris J on the site, however, so he's going to try and stop the plant from coming in, but he's got 2 people to face. He isn't going to get traded just yet, and Blade gets finished off. Shot straight in the head. So mousesports closes the gap to 4.
Indeed. And their economy is looking better and better, so they're okay to take, a hit or two in some of these rounds, losing a player or in a 2 or sometimes even 3. But now Flipside, it's been a while since we've actually seen them play out a round where they had a lot of cash, and that's going to be this round now. There's a lot of money there, and they've got everything, all the bells and whistles. We've got the AWP on Welded It, 3 Molotovs, and 4 grenades on most other players, so I'm quite curious as to the selection of strategy from Blade.
Yeah, I think the official Blade pressure is coming up very soon. So this time there's a complete change in format from mousesports. Chris J on Yorp is going to be over towards the B bomb site. Dennis basically ran all the way down long without peeking towards statue and then ran all the way back.
Is Shara AFK? Are they having an issue there?
He's right now he's alt tabs completely, or his game isn't working. So
okay, so any strategy that Blade would have been trying to run this round, they're not.
I think he had a TeamSpeak issue. He was fiddling around with TS, not Terror Squad down TeamSpeak. So leave Fat Joe out of it.
Bit of a delay then for this one, but it looks like they're going to decide to keep it simple because they gave up a lot of time early in the rounds, not really gaining much, playing very passively whilst they waited for Shara to get back in the game. So now it's going to be a lot of pressure in towards drop. See what they can do with the time they have left.
Indeed, that might set off their timings because you often had Markelov moving into the drop zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Around 1 minute. He's actually just moved into there now. And this time it doesn't look like mousesports are positioned to go for the pop flash. But you saw last time they went for a pop flash and faced the drop of 3 players, and that caused Flipside to move quickly towards A.
And what is actually alone with the AWP towards A long? He's actually going to back out a little bit now, but it's quite interesting to see if he's going to push that by himself. It does still look like he's going to be pushing in towards A alone with an AWP, which is kind of sick, to be honest. There's 2 players in that vicinity too, one on a close angle. That's going to be really hard for Welded to deal with. But the push is coming in onto the B bomb site whilst this is happening. We've got a lot of damage going in already. Chris J onto Shara, and Markov trying to make his way through that drop zone. Not too successful, but Blade will pick up the pieces, and now we'll have finally enough space for the bomb to go down. But Nico in a 1 versus 3, spamming around the corner there of the boulder. Very hard to kill that player, and it looks like Blade will take him down. 13 rounds on Flipside's side, now going to 14. That pressure, it's closing in on mousesports now from all sides.
Saved by Mother Nature. That tree took licks in that round. 2 rounds away from victory, 2 rounds away from elimination. Our mousesports Flipside looking very good, all good in the hood at present. But mousesports, with the number of rounds they strung together, will have another buy-in. So we've got Chris J on New York once again. This time Dennis is going to the mid area. Not going to peek the door though. And it seems Flipside are going to go for a super fast play towards A, B. Got nades for days coming in, the flashbangs, and Markelov is charging forward. No frag to him yet. Chris J is in position. Shara goes down. Bondik soon to follow. There goes Markelov as well. So the fast play has not worked out for Flipside just yet. Only Chris J's gone down, and they have 2 players left. Well, they're on 4 HP. All the nades coming out, the flashes as well, going to slow things down. Flipside still on the plateau. No more HEs left, otherwise they would probably get completely ruined. There goes Wilder, just down to Blade. Can he do any damage now? Can he get himself some 1 versus 1s in the smoke? But if he comes out the wrong way, might have a disadvantage. Spiddy gets headshot as well. 2 versus 1 now. Still a minute 10 on the clock. Finally going to get finished off, but that was very expensive for mousesports.
Yeah, absolutely expensive indeed. It's starting to look a little bit sketchy on the money. Nico still has 7k, but the rest 4k and less. So this is really last chance saloon for them, to be honest. And Flipside again, I mean, we saw that spot where basically, all right, Shara was AFK at the start of the round, so Blade couldn't really run some of the strategies he's talking about, or everything was delayed, so a little bit off. Now we're in a position where perhaps we would see something in the next couple of rounds, which is more reminiscent to Blade finding ways to pick apart mousesports. But mousesports looking pretty solid right now.
mousesports are going to be well out of position for this now. They need to find the frags. Dennis doing great work. 2-man spray down, finding a third. Finally going to get traded by Shara, leaving Chris J alone on the A bomb site. But it's only Shara left. He's going to go down as well. So a fast attempt, but not much done by Flipside. We should see them back on the buy in the following round. Again, Chris J was charging down A long on his own in that round. Maybe trying to do what well that it did previous, but there was nobody there to engage him. Now we have the buy coming out from Flipside once again. Going to have full nades on most. Shara just with the one flashbang, off onto Wild Edit as well, so we'll see what Blade has in store for the CT side. They will face another test.
Yeah. Clawing their way back into this mousesports tooth and nail. And they are getting rounds back, so things could start to get frustrating for Flipside now. Now that mousesports get ever closer, and if Flipside lose this one with no bomb plant or anything, they're not on a buy. So mousesports would then be one round away from tying things up. So
I found it curious they went for a B rush because it's so telegraphed. You can hear them coming from a mile away. If you have somebody in drop or playing near the tree, you just hear them running so far in advance. You can nade them, HEs, flashes, everything.
Yeah, we're starting to have a really interesting match now as mousesports start to get some momentum and confidence going. I mean, they had a really rough time in the first half, of course, and it's not typically how you see cobblestones, but we do have right now Wild Edit and Bondic working on that A. Chris J's on the angle as well. There's a quick flash for the first off angles. As Chris J waits patiently. He does have some support as well, so when he takes the shot, he can fall back now and they can play the bait game. There's the first frag. Wild Edit is going to go down. Chris J gets out of there, leaving Dennis boosted up, ready for the rest of the onslaught that could be coming his way, and it does look like Flipside are trying to take the control of the A side of the map right now.
Blade might peek with the bomb though. He's going to be in a sandwich. That's a great flashbang, but he's not going to see Dennis, not even going to check. So he did drop the bomb in the corner just before peeking, so at least there's that, but the damage has been done to Flipside. The smoke comes in, so they are going to be out of position now. Markelov has to rotate miles away from the B bomb site while Chris J gets taken down. They're not really in a position to punish it, but Shara is behind the smoke and Nex is coming through it onto the balcony, I think, and Shara's going to take him down. So all of a sudden things are switching, but there's only 10 seconds left and the bomb is nowhere near the bomb site. Speedy and Nico are coming through. They're falling now. Nico's on the site on his own. They can kill him or try and plant the bomb. They've got to make a decision. The bomb's on the floor. Nico just needs to hide now, and he's going to take the run for his team. 1 second, and he will just about do it. That could have gone either way very, very easily. I think the call, they had a 2 versus 1 with 5 seconds. I think the call should have come in to take Nico down. But again and again, he saves mousesports.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool round actually, because initially we had the situation where so the battle for A long, and then they don't check the boost position, and that cost them. Blade just went down for free. But they had Shara, Flipside had Shara just going ham, just 1 versus 3 up in the bomb site, trying to make a round of it. And it's Nico to save that at the end. What a round there. 14-12. And now that's going to mean that Flipside, as we can see, they don't have anything to spend in this round. They need to save. Although that said, Bondic actually spent all of his money. Interestingly. Oh, well, it was actually on the scoreboard for me, it says he's got $0.
Me too.
Which is a little bit weird, actually.
Spending all your money on me.
So that's kind of strange. Anyway, we'll have to see what Flipside can bring to the next round, because this should be a bit of a no-show in this one. This mousesports have a pretty sizable arsenal. mousesports really coming back into this one. Flipside just not able to close some of these close rounds out. It's going to be Markov onto Nico.
But they're all over the A site again. The bomb's definitely going to go down this time. Chris J's making it to the balcony. Shara needs to get onto the site in time. He does indeed. So now there's another opportunity for Flipside, not only to do some damage, but to potentially win the round. It's the mousesports have to force their way through choke points here.
And it's proving pretty easy for them. Of course, these players have no armor, so...
Well, Speedy's got 13 HP, but the bomb, or Blade has the cross, doesn't get the angle, but again, he's done some good damage as mousesports bring the gap to 1. I can only imagine that Bondic maybe died by the world there, so he got 0 income for suiciding, so maybe he fell off something or jumped and died, or naded himself.
It'd be weird, it's kind of strange that we would have missed that, but yeah. Maybe
Tis a mystery, Dan.
Yeah, we'll have to find it out later. But yeah, you know, right now it's kind of a situation where we put our foots on our mouths, James, because 14-13, it looks like Flipside could never lose this match. But now all of a sudden, mousesports have all the momentum. They've got still some bank left, although on that last round, a lot of damage was done. So mousesports only have 2 players with any money. So Flipside, it's all about this one for them. They want to take control of this match again. We've got double up now, Chris J and Nico pulling out the AWPs. And a passive opening from Flipside with 2 players towards A, playing it really slow. Playing basically a default, providing presence all across the map on Flipside, trying to bait out some early grenades, whittle down the utility of mousesports to begin with. And Flipside themselves have a lot of grenades too, so they'll be able to go for a strong execute. They can flash into any positions of the map that they want as well. All the options are open for Flipside right now, but we do have 3 players towards A for mousesports, so they're really not feeling the B at the moment.
At present, Markelov is the only person towards B, which means that if Flipside go peeking towards A, perhaps they can get into trade frag situations, but with the current setup from mousesports, that might be hard, because I don't expect Chris J to allow himself to be traded with the angles he is holding. Again, this kind of setup can be favourable for an AWP player, especially with Dennis standing there, so it might go favourable for them. But the bomb seems to be headed towards B now. Markelov again harassing the drop zone, where Spiddy will hold passively. There are 2 smokes down in that area at the moment. And again, 3 players deep in A for mousesports. Who knows? Flipside could go through, drop and split A. They could go to B. You never know with them. Yeah, Nico's holding a tight angle as well. Yeah,
this is a bit of a gamble coming in from mousesports, to be honest, because they haven't had much information to confirm this. Now the 2 players on B are going to have to make sure they do a really excellent job. And look at that, Chris J not able to pick up Blade, who managed to just sneak through the smoke there into connector. So now the rotation's going to be cut off from A. The 2 players on B have to do everything right now. Markelov's in there though, and there's just not enough players to cover all the angles, abusing the backstabs. And now Markelov and Blade holding tight to the A bomb site as the bomb can now be planted. But Dennis coming in with a key timing, gets 1 frag, next with the other one. Markelov though, finding 2 out of nowhere. Markelov versus Dennis for this very crucial round. And now the bomb is ticking away. Dennis knows that he's towards the boulder. He's going to be trying to make his way onto that though. Markelov holding tight to the bomb. Markelov might not realize he's over the boulder, jumping with the headshot. It will be Dennis, and that's the round there for mousesports. They tie things up 14-14. Who would have thought it?
They had 3 rounds at the beginning of this and lost the first 2. Sorry, they won the first 2.
Yeah.
And then got reset. So it's not easy, but they finally tied things up. Flipside, however, have max loss bonus, and they will continue with the buy. They'll continue with the AWP. They've got tons of Molotovs, smokes, flashbangs, so the pressure continues to rise. And mousesports are actually, both teams are buying within an inch of their lives. But if mousesports lose this round, they won't be able to buy in the next. So this is going to be a massive round for both teams. Let's have a look at the initial setup. We've got Chris J with a different aggression here. Nobody up towards A-long at the moment. He has not had much action there in the opening 40 seconds of the rounds. So he'll go towards low with Dennis and then go back up a bit later on. Again, Flipside with their standard start. We should expect Markelov to be harassing the drop around 1 minute. Shara's looking towards B platform. Just the 1-up onto mousesports this time, which is onto Chris J. Spiddy down to a UMP, so you can see the strain in the CT economy here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not looking too fantastic, but they do have some amount of momentum on their side. Really, climbing back. At this point, it's all becoming possible, but can they take it over the line? Many times have we seen a comeback go almost all the way.
Look at that timing from Nico. Just jumped around the Molotov to try and get on the platform, but Shara's going to rip his head off regardless. And now it's Speedy alone on the B bomb site, but there are smokes down, so Flipside can't capitalize just yet. But guess who's in the drop zone? That's going to be Markelov. Well, did it almost getting a frag there.
Wow, that was so risky to try to go for the gun there, and Speedy somehow manages to pick up that M4 and drop his UMP. That's ridiculous.
But look at the rotations. It's like a massive clock in reverse. Flipside moving round to the A site as mousesports move into B. Again, Markelov still harassing. They don't really know what's going on the CT side.
Yeah, Markelov in drop is so insanely key, but Chris J will take down Bonded. Chris J needs a big individual performance here, as does Dennis. Next will go down. Shara with that entry, and now Dennis, he hears the bomb going down. He tries to spam through the angle, but the smoke will make it so that he has no vision at all. But just seeing just a shadow of Blade there, able to take him down through the smoke as it dissipates. But it's all up to Dennis and Chris J to save this round for mousesports. And the frags are coming for mousesports. Just one player left alive. It's well at it. He'll get the first frag. Still has Chris J, and he can't get it done. Chris J with the frag. And Chris J is going to save it. mousesports winning all the key clutches to take themselves into a ridiculous situation. I thought it was all over for them.
That is unbelievable. That should have been almost unwinnable. They had the plant in such a fashion where there was no cover for mousesports. It was a brutal plant. They put a great smoke down for Blaze to plant it in that position. He couldn't get off the bomb site in time. They didn't need to be on the bomb site to defend it. But you had one player behind the APC and his shadow gave his position away. It was a free frag for Chris J. Then well that it tries to do what he can. But he could have played the defuse, although if Chris J takes the high ground there, then there's not much more they can do. So that is a massive round. Can Flipside stay in the match now after such a massive lead?
Chris J's got the auto sniper. We've got a big change of setup. mousesports were putting a lot of, like 3 players towards A on most of their rounds. Now what they've done is they've put Chris J alone with the auto sniper on long. Very passive, like a rotation, kind of floating role for, I believe, Spiddy on the double doors, or Dennis rather. So they're thinking that the B round is much more likely from Flipside right now. That's what their kind of opening is. But they haven't got any info on the map just yet. So, ooh, it looks like we might see some action here from the auto sniper. Oh, his legs, James.
Blat, blat, blat. That's the sound of my auto sniper. 4 Flipside players still moving towards the A site. Maybe they can try safety in numbers here. They still have a few flashbangs, some smokes as well. So perhaps they can go for another smoke plant execute. I don't know. We will soon find out. Minute mark. Markelov moving into the drop zone as per usual. And again, mousesports, they know where a few players are, but really, they don't know what the ultimate evil plans of the Flipside mastermind is.
It's so tense right now, and Chris J will get some more tags in with the auto sniper. No frags, but so much damage. Where are the kills going to be found here for mousesports? The damage is nothing without the kills, and it's all on Flipside for those frags. 3 in a row. Oh dear, this could be going straight to overtime right now. Next and Nico, the only man left standing now for mousesports. As that bomb is planted, they've got to go for the retake effort. Next, straight through the doors, or trying to at the very least. But there's 3 players who could be facing him at any one time, and he's going to be able to take the frag. Moving closer and closer. A little bit of aid there from Nico before he goes down. Allowing Next 1 versus 2 as he looks for the first play. He's got the info, but not the frag. It's going to be an overtime. 15-15. What on earth is this match?
12-3, 12-3 halves. That's crazy. But if you look at
on cobblestone, it's super crazy.
Yeah, but if you look at the flip side, it wasn't like Flipside were playing bad. They had great T executes.
But
there were
really
so many rounds. There
yeah.
were so many rounds where Nico kept his team in the game. He was last man standing and got the clutch frags that he needed to get. Nerves of steel does that man have. I mean, Flipside should definitely, after that first half, have taken that match. But here we are. It's overtime. And Flipside are going to continue on the T side. And for me, I still have to play this Flipside. I think they are a far stronger team on this map. We know what their stats are like on Cobble. They win the large majority of their matches as well. So I think they came pretty close in a number of rounds. I mean, the sheer style of map control they've had in so many of these T's rounds is completely bananas. Markelov keeps taking the drop zone for free, and that just allows them to split either side, and they just keep getting behind enemy lines. It's crazy.
That's the really ridiculous thing for me on this match, is that as you're saying, on the T side for Flipside, they're creating so many like really decent options to close rounds where you'll set up Markelov in drop zone. Repeatedly they were getting that, which is such a big deal on this map. Drop zone is so important. Matches are typically won and lost on drop zone control. And if you look at mousesports T side, they were struggling to have any options ever.
Yeah.
So basically what that means is that we had the story of mousesports just being incredibly clutch into their CT rounds. I mean, they're just clutch. That's it.
Indeed, but how long will that last you versus strategy? That is the question. Can they hold that out? It's going to be MR3 10K, which means 3 rounds per half, $10,000 starting money. If you lose 2 rounds in a row on CT side, you are probably screwed. We will have to see. Blade is top of the scoreboard, but it's Markelov and Shara who are top fragging for the Flipside team. The kills are fairly well spread out on the T side. Bondek just lagging a little bit behind. Same could be said for mousesports, but again, in terms of impact frags and so on, Nico has been putting in work
Oh, yeah.
in that regard. So we're about to kick things off once again. While it's going to be AWPing on the T side. Looks like some players might be feeling a bit of pressure here. Again, this is a best of one. If you lose, you're done. That's a wrap. You're out. You're out the door. Security will forcibly remove you shortly after the proceedings.
Right, so let's see how this goes then. We've got Nico, he's picked up the AWP for his team. And it's a very passive opening from Flipside. And actually a more aggressive opening from mousesports on their CT side. They've got 3 players quite forward on the A side of the map. 1 in danger, 1 on A long, and 1 on the middle ramp. Now, we do have... What are they in Bondic trying to get the openings? We've seen this happen previously. They'll get the flashes in there. There's the flash for the close position, and then they go for the peaks. Previously, it didn't work out too well for them. That smoke is going to kind of blow up that pop flash play, and Chris J's going to get up close to smoke. That's a really smart play, as he is expecting them to be there to try to take long.
Lucky for Bondic, he's on the other side of the wall, otherwise he would have been dead.
Yeah, exactly. That was really smart from Chris J. Doesn't pan out, though.
Indeed, but it gives Flipside an idea as to how many players could be over towards the A site, because it's unlikely that Chris J is taking such a risk on his own. And indeed, mousesports are fighting for the area around the mid position, but Bondic's going to be allowed to go for a flank here. Gone past the players, which is going to have to make them come up. You might realize that there are 2 there based on the position of the first person he picked, but he's going to lose the duel. Only 2 Flipside players left, nobody down for mousesports until Dennis gets wrecked by Wildernet, but soon traded by the CTs. Good start so far for mousesports.
Yeah, and Shara has done quite well in this match. He's gotten a lot of impact frags. He's been able to do some crazy individual plays to try to save rounds and open up rounds, but this is a little bit of a tall order, to be honest. That bomb is down pretty far away. Of course, the CTs don't know that it's there, which is obviously very important information, but at the same time, he doesn't have any time left in the round. Sorry, so he'll be finished off, and mousesports will take the first round of overtime 1.
He didn't need to die there. I don't know why he has his knife out. Also, Bondic accidentally bought a sawn off and had to drop it in spawn, so that's a bit of money wasted. Indeed, he has $400 left, so the money is disappearing very quickly on the Flipside team.
Yeah, if you lose 2 rounds in a row, you basically have to force buy, and you don't have enough money for a real buy on this kind of format. So it's brutal.
Well, let's see what the play is from Flipside. This time they've got 4 people over towards the A site, perhaps a reaction to the aggression that they saw previously. But Chris J didn't have the AWP last round. Nico had the AWP towards B. This time Chris J's towards B with it. Nico's there as well. We've got a bit of a boost coming in to get a CT onto Plateau. Denison next going to be holding the underpass. And Markov moves into the drop.
And we've got Chris J in a spot where it's hard to trade against him. So if Chris J gets his first frag, he should be able to just fall out of there and for free. And he misses the first shot, and he's too wide peak to go for any move to safety. So now we'll have some issues here for mousesports as they're down 2 players. Minute left to play with, and Flipside have drop zone. They have everything to win this round, but Nico, he's going to go for a very ballsy play, straight into the smoke. He's going to go down after a single frag, and that does not bode well for the mousesports side in this round. Looks like Flipside should be able to get the bomb down. They should be able to secure this one. Next, coming in though, from an unknown angle, and he will get the first frag, but the trades don't work if you're down so many players. It's up to Dennis to save the day, and the bomb is going to go down behind the statue. Dennis with a lot to do here. Very low health, the smoke goes in as well. Forced to take the first duel against Bondic. It's not going to pan out for him. 16-16 now, each side with a round in the first overtime.
Indeed, it is definitely a high-pressure situation over towards the Flipside camp. Lots of shouting calls on their side at the moment. But both teams deadly silent after the round as they know how tense this is. This is the last round of the first half here, so we'll see who gets to take an advantage. And this one round will be a big advantage going into the second half. So we're going to have the AKs coming out for the Flipside team. Blade is just barking some instructions, going to have a late buy, and out he comes as well. So the only AWP in this round is going to be onto Chris J, and he is once again headed over towards A-Long, where he has been so many times. Is he going to go for some aggression, though? He hasn't really gone for any overextended peaks, which we mentioned at the beginning of this match, and how things used to be when it first came out. So this time, Flipside will have 3 people over towards the A-bomb site, and Blade's going to just take the bomb over there and leave Markov lurking on his own. So things will be quiet for now. A minute 25 on the clock again. About 20 seconds from now, we should see Markov harassing the drop zone, maybe even getting in there. Double flash is coming in towards mid, and Dennis is going to hold an upper angle. Chris J with potentially what could be a nice boost, but there's a player directly below them, and his failed jumps may give his position away because we'll hear the impacts when he lands. Not looking directly below him, but will Blade get the jump on him? That could have gone so many ways down, but it went nowhere.
At least Dennis got the information. He's going to go for the reposition here. He will somehow pick up the kill through the smoke there onto Bondig. There are more players coming though, but look at the rotation. mousesports have had so much time to figure this out. Previously in rounds like this, Flipside are further up so they can actually go through connector to B, but this time they've been kept out of the bomb site completely by mousesports. So mousesports in a really solid position at the moment. Flipside, the only way to take the bomb to a site is to rotate it to B at this point. Unless World it goes completely ham, but he's got 10 HP left. And indeed, the bomb is going to make its way towards B. But time is starting to run low.
mousesports have nobody in B whatsoever, even when they had 5 people alive here. And to move into the drop might be the wrong decision here, because there are 2 CTs, but they've got nades in their hands. Markov doesn't realize that there's somebody behind him, and down he goes, leaving Mordet alone with 10 HP. And it all to do. And he's just not going to be able to do anything here, so it's going to be mousesports to take the advantage into the second round. So that was a great read and a good gamble from mousesports. Just put everybody A.
Yeah, well, it's funny though, because it feels like Flipside kind of gamed themselves in that round, because there, of course, obviously we have all the information. Going straight to B, they get the plant and they're fine. They can have like a 2 versus 4 situation, so it's all going to be good, and they have the advantage in that round. But I feel like they felt like mousesports rotated people as they should have done, basically back to B. But they never did, which is kind of weird, because they kind of should have done, but they didn't. So they get. So I feel like Flipside made by far the right call anyway. But it's super weird.
So mousesports need 2 rounds to win now. Flipside will need all 3, otherwise we're going to be going to overtime 2. And again, mousesports survived, you could say, by the skin of their teeth in a number of rounds in normal time. What else does Blade have in the bag? That is the question. How are they going to run their strats? Again, I go back to that B rush. I just don't understand why they chose to rush B when they had basically all the advantages. I mean, yes, the CTs had equipment there, but it's just so telegraphed in terms of sound. You just try and charge all the way to B, just rush B, don't stop. Like, you're going to get naded, you're going to get counter flash, and you're going to get stuck on the plateau.
There's a lot of spots on this map actually where you can run and not be hurt by the CTs, but teams always walk there. And they could just be faster in whatever their play is, whether it's a rotation or just trying to fake or whatever it is. And spots where you'll see like that, where they're like, oh, we've walked everywhere, so now we don't have enough time, so now we have to telegraph everything. It's one of those small edges that that's not all teams are super on top of on some maps. Yeah, that's like
they just rushed B from spawn in that round. They would just rush B, which I just don't. I don't know why you do that. I mean, I think Lopez was saying Flipside are a strategic team. I don't know why they're rushing B down.
No.
That doesn't... I don't know why he has a line that says rush B on his document there on his laptop.
I have to say, though, when you're watching Flipside, it is very cool because you can see how aware they are of rotation. Because, again, that last round was just a clear example of that. They're expecting, based on what they have done, they're looking at, okay, this much time has passed, this has just happened, so the rotation should be like this, so there should be players here and here. So if we attack this area of the map, it should be the sparsest setup for the CTs. Maybe there's not even any CTs there, but obviously in that case, the last round, mousesports didn't actually rotate anyone. So
yeah, and again, it was Nico getting those impact frags, although it seems that Flipside's idea was to split the A site, expecting people to be in B. But here we go. It is the second half of overtime, round advantage, for mousesports. Again, mousesports will need 2 rounds, basically first to 19 rounds in overtime 1 will take the match, otherwise we are headed to overtime 2.
Yeah, and we have Nico in a position towards Plat, where perhaps he could just try to lead the charge up there, and it's going to be interesting to see if Flipside can hold this. Shara's in the position where where she usually takes, just hidden in the angle on the left there, right at the end of the plateau. Now his teammates are going to have to flash in there for him as the enemy are pushing in for him to really be able to do too much from this position. He can't really spam through the smoke with the M4A1S too easily because he's not got too many bullets. So this is a very tense situation. Shara needs to pick up a couple kills here to make life easier for his teammates. Let's see what he's able to pick up there. There is the first one. Looks like things going quite well, but the flashes are coming in. Markov's coming in as well, and that's going to be the level of fragging that they need to close this round out. 4 versus 2 now. What on earth do mousesports do? They've not gained any real estate.
It's all falling apart. Chris J's alone on the platform getting flashed while Nico's holding a flank in a 2 versus 4 situation. They had the entire Mandem, Dan, going team main with nobody in drop. Bondik's looking in drop like, where is everyone? Where there's nobody here.
Exactly. And that's the thing, isn't it? Because if you have the guy in drop to split defense, Markov can't come in as easily there to clean up those 2 extra players. But in taking everyone plateau, you get these crossfires.
Wow.
But Chris J looks like he's not done and dusted for this round. There's 13 seconds left, James. What are they going to do in this situation? There is no time. Nico picks up a kill. 2 versus 2 all of a sudden. He's got to go for the plant. Marco's going to spot that. Sprays them both down with the M4. It was a nice attempt at the end, but it was all over actually in the first effort towards plateau.
Markov with the 4K making his parents proud, just holding angle, being the safe pair of hands on the site itself, just popping out and putting an end to the round. But again, it should have already been over.
Yeah.
But he made doubly sure of that. So 17 to 17. Again, the first to 19 will take it. Otherwise, we're headed to overtime too. Both teams, of course, going to be back on the bye. So we'll see if Flipside can hold on the second test here from mousesports. They have many Molotovs. Could be an execute towards the B bomb site, as that's where most of the Molotovs tend to go at the moment. Going to have an initial default. Dennis playing around the smoke towards underpass. Got a Molotov on the platform. Markov going to have to move his position with half his HP gone. Yeah,
actually, interestingly, Markov is the top fragger in the match at the moment with 34 kills. It's not often you're going to see Markov as of late being the top fragger.
That's experience.
Usually it's going to be your Bondik, but hey, he's doing work. And now he's positioned himself towards the tree area, holding his usual spot, with Shara there up on the plateau as the first point of contact for any players making their way down B plateau from the T side. But now we're going to get a bit of a rotation from mousesports. They have left behind Nico towards drop. Nico's going to flash himself into drop as his teammates go for the A play. So if Nico can actually get in there and get set up, he's going to play the lurker role. He's going to be able to cut off rotation as mousesports take the A bomb site. That's the plan.
Blade is going to be key here. You've got Wilderit holding an angle towards mid to see if anything's going there, but Blade has just got a smoke in his hand, playing on timing. And there we go. That's going to be the information they need. Spiddy is going to get taken down. Blade's put a smoke down so he can peek and help Wilderit as well. But that does give the wooden fence area away. But Dennis is going to go the wrong angle and get taken down by Blade. So we've got a 5 versus 3 now with 17 seconds left on the clock. They've got to breach the site and make a plant here. This is not going to be easy for mousesports.
Yeah, considering Nex has the bomb and he's on very low HP, he could go down in that position. He's got a plant. Does Nex even realize he has the bomb at this point? He's got to get himself onto the site. Looks like the call has been made. Oh, just barely enough time there. 3.5 seconds to plant the bomb, just in the nick of time. Oh, snaps Bondik's head straight off with the AK. And now it's down to Markelov, the top fragger of Flipside of the match at the moment. He can't get it done. Chris J is going to secure the frag. And I think Next really didn't know that he had the bomb there, James, because that was a bit of a scramble to get that plant.
They are honestly, I don't even know. It's like you go down a 50-meter wooden slide without getting a splinter. Like, they are very, very lucky at the moment. And they are on match points again. We'll see what Flipside have to offer. Blade might be a bit short on money, going to be down to the UMP.
The level of clutch coming in from mousesports has really been what has saved them in this matchup. To me, it's just every time it feels like Flipside are playing a better cobblestone game, but mousesports just clutching the hell out of every situation they can. So, default again here from mousesports. Chris J with the bomb towards the A side of the map. Nico just a bit of pressure, as we can see that, towards the B plateau, just showing some presence all over the map at the moment. In the previous round, Nico actually didn't go into the drop in the end, and he actually reinforced the push towards A. And Flipside, 4 players towards B at the moment.
Including Bondik, who is the only person on the CT side who has a kit in this round, so that may play a part later on. Let's keep an eye on that for the time being. mousesports being passive, and it looks like they're going to go towards B once again with the crew, as nobody's being left towards A. Nico's holding the angle where if Bondik were to jump up and peek, he would probably get shot in the face. We'll see if he's going to do that. No, he's going to pass on that one. Markelov is in the drop zone area as well, but holding a passive angle outside of it. Well, to start things off here, and we're starting to see a lot more movement from mousesports now. The nades are starting to come in. They've got a drop zone. Markelov repositioning on the site. Wilderit's on the box. Is he going to go for the peek? He's in the flames. Takes down Nico in the drop zone. Goes for the counter flash. Going to slow down mousesports, and he's still alive, which is very important.
Yeah, and that flash is going to give Markov some space to work with. The
NBA!
nade on Chris J. Now everything is going disastrously for mousesports, and we are going to find ourselves in a second overtime. First match of the day for day 2 here at MLG Columbus. Things are really heating up. It seems like the first game of the day is all about the overtimes.
Man, that was a nice 3-pointer.
Yeah, to be honest though, how many times did mousesports successfully take B when there was no players doing anything in drop? Zero,
Yeah,
James. Zero is the answer, James.
Zero, big fat zero, Dan. They are playing it very differently to the way Flipside are playing it. But again, you just feel like there are so many rounds where if you played them even 10 times, never mind 100, Flipside are probably going to win those rounds more often. But it is what it is. We're going to a second overtime here. And for me, Flipside are continuing on their CT side. And they just look stronger in both halves, despite only winning half the rounds overall.
Absolutely. I agree completely. It just feels like they are just able to exert themselves individually more. I mean, of course, it's like they have less opportunities to win these rounds. And in some spots that they are in terrible spots, but they can just kind of clutch their way out of them. Whereas conversely, Flipside don't really seem to be having that power. Flipside, Markov's the guy that's top fragging at the moment. Typically, Bondik is the guy that goes ham on their team. He's the guy that's most consistently been fragging hard, and on Cobblestone as well. He's typically one of the fail safes. You can always rely on Bondik, but I think he's in the middle of the board there with like 20. In fact, he's bottom fragging for the team. I don't know the last time I saw that even happen with Bondik on Flipside.
Markelov with 36 frags. Well, it depends on what position you're playing on the map as well. And maybe, I mean, Markelov's playing on B, so you could argue he might just be seeing more action. Well,
Bondik, he defends drop. He's going to have more one-on-ones probably.
But they're not going in drop there, are they?
That's a good point. That is a good point, yeah. But still, he's also going to be the faster person rotating towards A in some of these spots. It's kind of like the stairs position on Mirage a little bit. You're not the first point of contact, but if everything goes to hell, you can try to rely on that guy. But hey, maybe that's why they're avoiding drop. It's going to be interesting to see if Flipside can recover.
One interesting thing about double overtime is things can start to get weird and a bit random in terms of the approach, because you've got to keep your opponents guessing, right? But the problem is, on a map such as this, mistakes can be very expensive.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It is Flipside who will continue with the CT run. And again, mousesports going with the Mandem towards the B bomb site. And it may be a very fast play indeed. Is it going to work out for them? Nico with the UMP, not much health left though. It's going to be, I don't know what happened there, but he's dead, Dan. It's 3 versus 3 now, and mousesports losing their advantage. Chris J and Spiddy left versus 2. Spiddy gets taken down. Chris J alone doesn't have the bomb either. They know where he is, and he gets eliminated. People going nuts in the Flipside camp, but they haven't taken it yet.
Yeah, this is anyone's for sure, this matchup. And the cool thing as well is that from mousesports' perspective, when they were on their CT site, they change their setups quite often, actually. Always keeping Flipside guessing. Which is actually one of the best things you can do if you're up against, a team that's very strategical and is going to try to play against you, your weaknesses or your setups. Oh dear.
That's just unfortunate, isn't it?
That sucks.
Well, there we go. We are looking for the first team to get to 22 rounds to take this now in overtime 2. Flipside off to a good start, but there are a few more rounds to play. Well, that it just not giving a monkeys about your Molotov. Take my AWP in the chest.
So 5 vs 4 already for Flipside, and mousesports are going to have to basically just make the play now. They can't really afford to try to engineer a pick or something. If they lose another man at this point and play 5 vs 3, that just sucks. They've got to get some positioning, and that's what they're doing. Moving up A-long. We've got Blade there on the bomb site. It's going to have a lot of players to deal with. There's a quick flash going out. They've got some nice potential angles between him and the APC, but World is very low. Ooh, the Flame's just barely missing Blade at the moment. Are they even going to check that angle now? They might think that Blade can't possibly be there.
Then it seems to be holding an angle towards the site itself, which Blade might not check. He might swing past it and go for something else, but he's still being quite on it. Finally gets flashed again and goes down, but it's 4 versus 2. Bondik welded it, very heavily tagged. There goes Dennis. Speedy alone versus 4 now. He sees one. No trade coming in just yet. Markelov to finish him off, and people are still going nuts in the Flipside camp. They are 2 rounds away now. Mousesports need to get this last round, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble. You could argue that they already are.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That was a really close situation right there towards that push. Because you can see, like you said, Dennis was holding that angle onto Blade. but he turned away because of the distraction just in the nick of time for Blade. So
look at the nades, Dan.
Crazy small margins on these side takes.
Look at the nades on mousesports' side. Speedy has all the nades, and after that there isn't much else going on. And Chris J only has a Tech 9. So one would have to expect a fast play here, but we've seen what happens with fast plays going towards the B bomb site in this match. Not a good idea, really. So perhaps they're going to have to play for picks. Going to have to be a bit more aggressive towards the drop zone.
Yeah, aggressive on drop can be pretty good, especially if you've got Chris J with a Tech 9 first to run in for you and draw the fire. That could be pretty good, but they haven't shown much affinity towards drop in this matchup. But this is the best Flipside, the best chances Flipside have had, it feels like, in the last 10 rounds to close this match out now. So we'll have to see what happens. We've got the first attempt here by Wordadit, and Shara's going to get left out to the dogs there as Wordadit misses the shot and Shara goes down. It's just really intense now for Wordadit because they know that he's there with the AWP. He needs to get some frags in here. mousesports running out of grenades at this point. They keep pressing the attack. The counter grenades from Flipside have now created enough space for an entire rotation of the CT side. And mousesports, one by one. It's not the way.
Next had a massive flank coming in there, but it was completely denied. They're trying to get the nades in towards Wordadit, who refuses to leave the plateau. And it's going to force mousesports away. Speedy standing there alone now. But look at him, he's walking backwards, got a nade in his hand. If Wordadit chooses to peek, then who knows what happens. So mousesports will escape for now, but the clock is ticking. They've got 30 seconds left. They've got next to no map control, but Blade is leaving the A bomb site. Chris J and Nico are charging towards it. Why have they left? There's nobody there. They're going to be on the wrong side of the door. And the bomb should go down. Now the onus is going to be on Flipside to come back into it. Wordadit is miles away as well. Down goes Nico, so Blade might do some work here. The other players towards the APC, they've got 10 seconds left to plant the bomb. But he takes down Blade. This bomb will finally go down, but it's a 2 versus 3. Could have been much worse for mousesports.
Yeah, there's still a chance of it. Spiddy's going to go with the rifle. He's got to get the frags here. There's one. Still 2 more players oncoming. He gets the second one. There's the flank coming in, and that's going to be good. Chris J gets the kill, and mousesports, on the last round there, with nothing to speak of, are able to pick up the rounds. So they will save themselves from that 3-0. And that is a really big deal. And to be honest, what a disaster towards the first openings into the map towards B. They got completely shut down. But this is so weird because Flipside, a team that seems to be so cognizant of rotations and when teams should be rotating, they didn't even have a guy even standing on the doors looking in to see if people were crossing. Like,
I know. I mean, we saw gambles from mousesports previously where it paid off and they had 5 people on one site, and that time it didn't pay off. That was just a veritable disaster. Yeah. I can only imagine that Blade made the read that, you know, like he puts himself in the other person's shoes while there are 30 seconds on the clock. I can't really afford to rotate to another website, another bomb site where I've got no presence. I have no idea if any CTs are pushed up, if anybody's underpass, if anybody's pushed long, looking out, making sure there's nothing going on there, if anyone's flanking and so on. But mousesports willing to do it, brave enough to do it, just ran all the way through long, nobody on the site. They get to the site. It almost goes wrong with one play getting taken down in an APC. But again, skin of their teeth, Dan, they've got a round on the board.
That seems to be kind of the tagline, the summary of this match. It's by the skin of their teeth. Just constantly in these spots where they've got a clutch. Just repeatedly. Because that was another round where Flipside had a massive advantage. So, I mean, I wonder as well, you know, to which point does this start to really frustrate and get to you? Because when you keep losing rounds that you know that you should win, that feels awful.
Well, I'm sure they can focus on the fact that what counts is just taking it over the line here. They have a 2-round cushion. They need to take 2 rounds. Otherwise, mousesports taking 3 or it's another overtime. Again, it's the people to 22 rounds.
And let's not forget that the loser goes home. That's a really big deal. These guys are playing under immense pressure in this position.
Yeah.
And especially if you consider the situation in the group with Luminosity and NIP, a weakened NIP, that's likely the team that the winner of this will be up against. So there's a legitimate chance to get out of the groups for the winner of this match.
Also, Dan, yesterday evening, catering had ribs. So you definitely don't want to go home. Also, there's $1 million at stake, but I mean ribs. All right, Flipside going to be on the T side now. Again, it's the first team to 22 rounds. They have a 1-round advantage, over mousesports at present. So a very thin line between these two teams. mousesports with 3 over towards the B bomb site. Again, the drop situation is a passive one. 1 minute 30 on the clock at the moment, and Markov is already just making sure there's nobody going for any boosts, but we may see him start to harass a bit more once we get closer to that 1 minute mark.
The thin blue line at the B bomb site for mousesports.
Isn't that like the police or something?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess you're right. Yeah. Well done, Dan.
That reference game.
Well, it seems mousesports are looking to punish Markov when he starts to move in, and indeed he is moving in. Can mousesports hold this?
Well, there are the initial grenades to try to open up some space here towards drop. And Nico, grenade in his hand, but Spiddy's got him covered. That is a nice save right there. However, Flipside will still move into the space created by drop. There is a smoke down, and that should help out a little bit. But the play is coming towards that B-bomb site now. And what is this? Spiddy able to just drop Blade. And now it's 2 players left here for Flipside Tactics. They've got Welded and Shara on the bomb site. Shara's got to clutch his life out right now, and it's only 1 frag. That's not good enough. Welded doesn't get anything done. And already, mousesports pick up that needed round right off the bat. And mousesports, they are in trouble.
Again, it's the first team to 22 rounds, so both teams need to win both the remaining rounds. Otherwise, overtime continues. We have an AWP onto both sides. Well did it with the AWP. Chris J with the AWP. That was a massive failure from Flipside. You can see that mousesports have made adjustments to Markolov's play. Again, I mean, it's pretty much every round. Around 1 minute, he's getting into drop zone. That's almost a fact. Now, does Blade have a plan B? Because it seems that finally, mousesports have solved that problem.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see now.
I mean, Markolov's on a 40 bomb.
Yeah.
Just from jumping into drop every single round. So can they adjust and still have him be as useful?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see whether or not, as you say, things do start to get really weird, because we've entered that amount of overtime where both teams are like, okay, well, the thing that we had, which was kind of working, now the other team's kind of adapted to it. So now we're in a spot where we don't know really what is the best play, as all these adaptations are occurring on the fly from both teams. But here it is, as you mentioned, Markov being that key man for Flipside, getting into drop all the time. He's trying. He's back to the old tricks. There is the Molotov. Spiddy, he's got no escape at the moment. That fire is right behind him, and there goes the flashes in. And Spiddy's going to go down to Markov once again. Markov getting the key openings into this round for his team, despite getting traded by Nico. He's thinned out the defense early on enough for Flipside to still abuse and take the early advantage.
Well, that it's been flashed onto the plateau area with the AWP, which is obviously an expensive investment to go over towards B, which might draw more mousesports players once he makes his presence known. You can see Flipside are actually moving over towards the A site with the rest of their team. And maybe Nex is reading this. Blade gets taken down with the bomb as well, which means it's going to be a full rotation. Nico, though, taken down by Welded. Can he get to help his team in time? Down goes Dennis. There are 14 seconds, though, for the bomb to get close to the bomb site. I don't think that's going to happen. 10 seconds left. 2 CTs and 2 Ts. Shara needs to make a gauntlet run to the site itself. Otherwise, they're going down. He has no time to plant the bomb now. It's too late. They almost take Nex down, 42 HP, but they're not going to do it. He hides around the corner just in time. Shara trying to get a little bit of bonus money left, but it failed. They failed, and mousesports are on match point.
This is such a ridiculous match, to be honest. If mousesports actually closes this down, I mean, really, credit to them for having that equanimity there, just maintaining their strengths and not kind of
surviving and then adjusting.
Yeah, exactly. Just survival. It's just pure survivors at this point, because there's so many spots where they should just be losing rounds, and they still manage to just keep their composure. It's good.
Look at Flipside now. Double Galil UMP buy, and they are distinctly lacking in the nades. Blade, the captain, has no nades.
Oh dear. mousesports, they're going to get the first frag here. That's bad news for Flipside. 5 versus 4 early on. They've got to make a call here. How do they handle this? I mean, Markov has been the most consistent opening, into that drop zone. So we can see he's there, but he's not got a weapon really. He's got a UMP. I mean, okay, the UMP is decent, but his chances would definitely be better with an AK-47. Having to do much with little. Flipside.
This is even before that pick came in. This situation, just the lack of nades, is humongous for a team like Flipside. That is a monumental disadvantage. The pick comes in as well. They've got 1 minute on the clock. I mean, is this a situation they can plan for? I don't think so. Markolov is quite handicapped, as you said. Just standing above the drop, can't really do much. 45 seconds left on the clock. Still no indication as to where the bomb might go. Blade doing the reconnaissance mission towards A.
The crazy thing is how passive mousesports are. They are all the way back in their setups towards B, and they've got 2 players in connector. They're playing it really safe at the moment. And there you go. Nico's in with the first kill behind the statue, so it's going to pan out for them. Right now, Flipside, to save themselves, need the most ridiculous of shots. Nico is just picking them apart one after another. Finally, the trade comes in. Shara is trying to get it done. 2 versus 3 now as Blade picks up a frag, evening the situation. 15 seconds left, and the bomb goes down now for Flipside. They have a chance.
Dennis coming in for the flank, loses the 1 versus 1 to Blade, so they might not be out of this yet. It's left down to the AWP star, Chris J. He knows where Blade was. He should have a good inkling as to where he might be. Behind the boxes, the smoke goes down. This is going to be very interesting. Blade, his head is shown, and we are not done yet. I don't know how they won that round, Dan. Knowing what kind of team they are, what kind of utility they need. The fact that he started that round with the main nade people not having nades, aside from Flipside in the underpass, I think somebody might have just punched the desk over towards mousesports. That was a humongous chance for them to take the match. I mean,
you got to give props to Shara. He's picking up these really key kills in high pressure situations, and being the newer man to the team, that's a really big deal. And again, it's just ridiculous that they managed to pull that out of the bag. They're a team that haven't had all that many clutch situations, but there was one of them, and there couldn't have been a more important one.
That's the biggest chance they had to take the match so far, and the fact that they failed there you have to think about what effect that has on their temperament going forward into overtime 3, because again they must feel like Flipside are a stronger team on this map, generally speaking. You know, so many rounds just come down to little things here, and I mean, they got the pick, they played it well. I don't even know what just happened for Flipside to take that.
I don't know.
Insane. I thought it was
so
done.
ridiculous.
I thought they had nothing left then.
Well, you've got Nico. Okay, you got Nico. It's like, picture this situation. Nico's there with an AWP, standing behind the statue, gets a 1-on-1, kills that guy. Gets a 1-on-1, kills that guy. They've got a guy by the chicken hut. They've got players all over the place, spread out in really great positions. Somehow Shara walks out and kills 2, just to allow Blade to win by the skin of his teeth a 1-on-1, and then you got a 2 versus 2. That was completely insane. That from Shara and Blade to be able to create a situation there, especially considering that mousesports have been the guys that have been clutching with the individual skill. It's a crazy match, and I'm just happy that mousesports seem to have composure no matter what, despite the fact that, okay, in that last round they lost that one, but generally speaking, it seems hard to, which team can you favor based on what in this situation? I feel like Flipside put themselves in better spots like more of the time, but fail individually more of the time, and that's the difference for me.
Like for me, I feel like you know, clutch situations are surely going to run out at some point, right? So I would have to favour Flipside because I feel like they've played a stronger game, generally speaking. But the problem is, we saw that mousesports finally adjusted to the T-play of Flipside to Markloff's play, but then Markloff adjusted as well. It's like, okay, normally 1 minute I'm dropping down into the drop, but no, I'm just going to shoot you from on top instead. And who knows, that second duel could have gone either way. So
yeah. And you know what's interesting right now is that Flipside called the timeout, so into the third overtime. Let's use that timeout. Let's say the timeout for the third overtime.
Oh yeah,
guys.
we have a timeout. Yeah, let's use that.
So, and obviously Flipside is starting off on the T side in this overtime, so you get more ability to dictate the round if you're on the T side, obviously. So that overtime is really going to be beneficial. But
I don't want to say too much tactically about what's going on between the two teams, because I think someone might have a toilet break or something, and not everybody has headsets on at the moment, so we'll have to keep it a bit vague.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, Flipside definitely look like a stronger team, but the clutches are just bananas. I mean, how do you just hold your nerve with all this madness going on? It's crazy.
You need a lot of experience at a tournament like this. And again, we can't forget that the winner of this can very likely beat NIP in, assuming that NIP losing against Luminosity. I mean, Luminosity have lost against NIP in groups before. I think it happened in Katowice. So, assuming that, let's say NIP does go down,
right,
which is the lowest likely scenario, that's a very winnable match, considering that Pitt is not there and Threat is replacing him. So it's a weakened NIP. So the winner of this match could very realistically have a win there.
All right, we're going to have a look at the last round and the 2v3 situation, so we can have a recap and try and figure out what the Blazers happened. So we have a 5 versus 2. Shara gets 2 headshots over towards the B-bomb site. Blade comes in for the flank and takes down Speedy while he's trying to trade frag Shara, leaving it into a 2 versus 2. And this is a situation where we basically have Dennis charging in, gets shot in the head. I mean, he wasn't in a position with Chris where they could really try and go for trade frag. So he just comes charging down main.
To walk.
Exactly. He had 40 seconds. Yeah, he just comes in blazing in like a car with no brakes. So perhaps there's something to be said there, because obviously he's giving Blade sound cues there.
But that's the thing that you're talking about as well. The pressure, right? That's a kind of a mistake. You feel the urgency because you're like, oh my god, if we lose this round, you know, that's kind of situations like we could just win here.
You know who charges around all the time, Dan?
Who is it?
Producer Reese. Okay, 21-21. We're looking for the first team to 25 to take this match, although who knows, maybe we'll be in overtime 4. Maybe we'll die in these chairs, Dan. Who knows? 3 people over towards the B site for the CTs once again. Speedy and next going to be perhaps combining to deal with Markelov a bit later on, maybe 25 seconds from now, towards the drop zone. But we're seeing more aggression towards A long. Chris J moving away once hearing that flashbang. Markelov up to his usual tricks.
Yeah, and actually there's a cool boost coming in on the A side of the map. It's a really solid one from Dennis. You don't see it too often, but of course, if you've got it'd be better if Dennis had a silencer in from that position. But with all the players coming in from long, Dennis should be obscured, and this setup from mousesports should be strong here.
What is that? Markelov gives no cares whatsoever, but Dennis, his position does pay off, gets Shara and Blade down, but his team are smoked on the wrong side of the choke point. He's going to have to try and rotate. Flames coming in towards the crawl space as well. 3 versus 3, bombs should be going down shortly. Dennis is on the flank, however, from mid, where Bondik is looking, but he might not find the right angle in time before his teammates go down.
Yeah, this is one of those rounds where it's actually the better setup for mousesports, but Flipsid are hitting the shots. That was awesome to see from them. Bomb is ticking away now, and mousesports taking a bit more care in setting up the retake before just charging in Hail Mary, and there it is, the trays coming in. But Markelov is having an enormous round, and that's going to be that 22-21. And wow.
Such a release of energy from Flipside Tactics. Whoever wins this match is going to need like 10 bananas each.
We've got 46
for the
frags
following round.
On Markelov.
Markelov is beasting on both sides. What can be said? It's a great resurgence to see him leading his team. I'm sure his brother's tuned in as well. Okay, so flip side off to the early advantage. And again, we'll have to pay attention to the CT economy should they not prove successful in this round. Again, we've got 3 plays for mousesports over towards B. Chris J again has gone deep towards A long. Dennis coming in for support. Some initial nades towards A, perhaps suggesting a fast play, but will they commit to it? The bomb is still further back. Got a bit of flame damage coming in, but no one has taken too much damage just yet. Nico is in the blind spot there, which he often boosts CTs up. Going to rotate and try and play around these smokes with Shara below him. We'll see if he makes a step. He's got a number of CTs holding angles towards the plateau at the moment, while Markelov's moved in. They've changed the timing here. Normally he's in the drop zone at about 1 minute. It's 1:25 on the clock, and he's in there already. So mousesports may be taken by surprise here.
Yeah, so it's going to be cool to see if they can actually break this, to be honest. Nice, again, the thin blue line of CTs. It is
the Popo, Dan.
Popo. They are ready and waiting. And what a wait it is. A lot of tension here. Just a few bullets exchanged right now as now the push comes in. Little pop flash going in there, but it's not going to be good enough. Nico next with the frags. Well, they only want to respond, but what a response it is. That second frag there from World. It's going to tie things up, and now Flipside really putting in the pressure as only one man stands. On the rotation, it's Chris J. This is so incredibly hard. I hope he's been practicing on the retake service. Pop flashing in. First frag going the way of Chris J. Oh, how does he get that one? Chris J! All 3 kills. What a clutch coming in. That's what we're talking about there from mousesports. Chris J, he's alive. It's not just Nico. He's turned up to this match, James.
And that is not just a much-needed win because of the score, but also the money. Even with the win, mousesports have, I think someone bought 2 UMPs. There must be one on the floor. Spiddy's going to be rolling with a UMP, but they've managed to get rifles in as well. But that is a completely bananas clutch. That smoke on the door is basically the GG smoke, but he manages to get a flash, gets a 1 versus 1, then gets 2 more 1 versus 1s, and away we go. 22-22. Flipside so close and yet so far. Still have the weapon advantage in this round. Again, Chris J and Dennis very deep towards A long, something that really hasn't really been figured out, tested, or punished by Flipside with the right timing.
And that's one of those moments, like, if anyone's ever played like Diablo 2, you're playing the Barbarian, you've got the war cries and the battle shouts that actually buff the entire team. That's basically what just happens with that clutch right there from Chris J. He just mows down 3 players. You never expect that to happen. That's such a big moment for mousesports. And the confidence there is going to be high. But as you pointed out, a UMP for Spiddy is definitely not the best of situations. However, they do have nades at the very least. So it's not too bad for them overall. And this time again, another switch up on the setup. We've got 2 players playing on A long. It's Chris J and Dennis. Chris J with the AWP. Let's see if they can win that battle, because Bondik is going to come in here. This could be bad for Bondik if he peeks without a flash or anything at all to help him out here.
The longer this goes on, the more heartbreak will be delivered to one of these teams. Chris J makes his presence announced, but his teammate Dennis has been taken down by Bondik. Can Chris J get the angle? Yes, he can. Straight in the face. 180s, but can't take down Shara. Man advantage for the T's. Where's the bomb going? Starting to rotate towards A, as are all the CTs. Blade loses a duel to the UMP in the balcony area, and Speedy's going to move onto the site, pick up an AK as well.
Speedy is ready by the APC. Decent positioning, actually, to allow his teammates to try to get in there. But Markov's going to put a stop to that. Speedy gets caught by Markov as well. And Shara to finish off everything there for the first half. And it's Flipside tactics. Despite the clutch efforts of mousesports and Chris J, Flipside will go into the second half of the 3rd overtime with an advantage of a round.
I can't take it, Dan.
I don't know if this will ever end.
I can't take it.
Markov's almost on a 50 bomb. I don't know.
Yeah, the nearest person to him is 39, and he's on 48. And that's obviously Nico on the other side. I mean, what can we say at this point? Again, there's one round between these two teams. Flipside could have had a 3-0 half,
yeah.
But Chris J.
It's getting to that point of the overtime where everything's about clutching, because no one knows what works anymore. So it's hard to break a match down and analyze a match at this stage, because both teams are just going on more on feeling than they are on anything cerebral. And you can see that for Chris J, at least, that's been working out. And it's good to see that he's turning up in this match, because it seems to be quite needed.
Yeah, I mean, we saw more adjustments from Flipside there. They seem to realize that, you know, their movements were telegraphed in terms of 1 minute, no matter what. Markov's going to start spamming into drop zone, jump into drop zone. Small adjustment towards the end of last time where he starts just trying to shoot from above. That was basically one round. And now I think it was him and Bondik who just went straight into drop zone pretty much, just realizing that it's always empty, and just split the bomb site a lot faster than they were previously doing. So mousesports struggled with that, but then Chris J with a brilliant one-man performance to keep them in this match and take that round.
A lot of matches can come down to 2 or 3 big clutches at some point in the match. We're having a match where there's clutches for days. It's repeatedly happening. Like, if we look at that situation there with Chris J, and situations before where we had the Shara Blade combination, where Markov's been going ham. Those are different clutches, but that one there, okay, Chris J gets that, and that means that mousesports are only 1 round down now, which in this kind of format is a really big deal.
It is, yeah. It's a big deal. So Flipside are going to be on the CT side now. We can see what adjustments mousesports have to offer on their T side. It just keeps going round and round.
At this point, it's like adjustments. Like, I don't know what.
It's
what at this point?
It's a strat tombola now.
It is, exactly.
Basically.
Yeah.
Put a piece of paper and see what comes out, and away we go. So an AWP onto both sides. We've seen the AWP switching between Chris J and Nico. Nico holding it towards platform. That's on the CT side. On the T side, it's of course going to be Chris J holding an angle towards long A at present. Blade is going to be towards long A, but I can't imagine he's going to give Chris J a kill in said position. Well, that it's currently holding around the connector door, looking towards mid, also looking towards drop as they don't have anybody there. So it's going to be Blade with shared responsibility towards long and mid as necessary. 3 mousesports players headed in that direction. Blade's been using some very creative smokes towards the A bomb sites to try and funnel would-be pushing T's, in various directions, and it's worked out quite well. But we'll see if he has enough in the inventory on this occasion, because he's got 4 people coming his way. You can see he starts to get them nade out with a certain timing, minute on the clock, and Blade is prepared to create some walls.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen this kind of approach previously from mousesports, but actually, typically, they'd even send Nico, instead of into drop by himself, back all the way to A. And this time, he's going into drop with a partner. He's got Nexin with him on drop zone, and there's nobody in drop. For Flipside, it's completely open, and Nex is going to be left in there. Nico's going to sprint back. Nex is going fast into connector by himself there. Markov's on the angle, of course. Oh no, Markov is going to lose that battle. That's a huge deal right now. Nex can cut off rotation, and now it's all about just picking off the players who are isolated for Flipside on the bomb side A. Bondik will take down Nex, and that will allow the rotation to come in, but well did it. He's got his back literally against the wall right now. There's nowhere to turn for him. What is he going to do? Oh, that shot was phenomenal there from Well Did It. But there's still work left to do for Shara, but there's just too many T's in the bomb site. Chris J finishes him off, and that will tie things up 23-23.
Like people in Thorin's basement, Dan, we're all tied up. 23-23. It's the first of 25 to take it now. Again, one team will need both rounds. Otherwise, we may be here yet longer, Dan. Yet longer. Orbs continue on both sides, but the CT economy is going to be quite strained. Well, that it's already down to $0. There's basically nothing in the bank for the CTs. They have to take this round, and they have to take it in numbers. Otherwise, the UMPs might be coming out again.
Yeah, it's going to be Chris J wants to give him the orb and the bomb. We've seen setups like this previously. Nico harassing towards the B side of the map by himself. And it seems like, we could see a similar round as to the previous one, when X goes back and jumps in drop, potentially with Nico, and then they go for the A hit. But this time around, we got Welded and Blades in the danger area on the A side of the map, just hanging out and awaiting mousesports to pressure in. And here comes some of the flashes, some of the smokes here to take control of these areas, and Blade's going to drop the smoke there and fall back towards A long. But this is a little bit of a finicky position there for Blade. He could get caught off or pincered, he has no idea. And now mousesports have shown presence. They're going to start to rotate back a little bit. Maybe just a couple players. Nico and Nex again. So it could end up being the same round as before, just with the tiny, tiny variation to the opening.
We shall see. This time, whether it has changed his position. We saw this in normal time, the angle he's holding at the moment. Again, it's not one way he can go for repicks. He needs to be deeper, but he's unable to do that because he does not have the presence. Shara's got an aggressive angle towards Plateau, and that might give his team the information sooner rather than later to rotate into the right positions. 30 seconds left on the clock now, and we can see Blade moving towards the deeper into the A site. Will he have a shadow? Indeed, he will have a shadow, but he still doesn't get the frag somehow. He could have got two, doesn't get a single one.
What a snap there from Dennis. These entries are absolutely magnificent now on Flipside. They're actually falling back here. They're going to just go for the save in this situation. Yeah. And this, to be honest, there's nothing else that they can actually do.
Their money situation is completely diabolical. If we can get the scoreboard up, you can see what the implications would be should they lose all their players here. They would have the ropiest buy down, indeed.
Yeah. So
I don't know how Chris J got that frag, because even there was a split second where the shadow came out before the player did. But perhaps, that it looked at the shadow and then got wrecked. I don't know, but that was very unlucky for him.
Yeah, Chris J and Nico really showing up. As Dennis as well. I mean, to be honest, it's actually been across the board. The performance is not too bad from mousesports across the board. And the same can be said from Flipside, generally speaking. Although the main standard is Markelov. But Markelov's really going to have to show up now because we're going into a pretty precarious situation right now. The match point sound has been played.
Got a FAMAS coming out for Blade.
Oh my goodness. I mean, they've done more with less in these overtimes, but when is this going to end?
There are a reasonable amount of grenades on the Flipside team, the smokes, etc. But again, they don't have the AWP onto Welded this time. Welded it's been reduced to FAMAS, so we'll have to find out if that plays a part. Do mousesports go for basically the same round again? The bomb is already headed towards A long, so it seems if it's not broken, don't fix it. Might be the way that this round goes. I think Welded it's been boosted, actually, indeed he has, with the limited weaponry he had.
Yeah. So again, this is. I'm just trying to see what kind of variation to the strat they have this time around, because previously they've lost 2 rounds. mousesports ran the same strat basically twice. There's a small variation, but basically the same sort of stuff, showing the same kind of presence with Nico and Nex towards the drop area and the plateau, baiting out all the nades, obscuring the hit away. And this time they've got Chris J with Nico towards the B side of the map. You see Chris J looking for that opening. And we haven't seen this too much, but he's usually quite good at getting these picks. And if he is able to get a pick, then that'd be great. But time is starting to run low. So with no pick and the time as it is, looks like mousesports are going to go for a B hit. Everyone's moving in. Nico's by drop. This looks like a good setup for mousesports to win this round and match. Yeah,
the CTs have just actually replenished the smokes they had down, and there we go. The last one is put in place. So it's going to be the entire mousesports side. Blade's made a gamble again, but you have to wonder if he's going to start second-guessing himself because of where it went wrong previously. Oh. But there are 4 CTs in the B bomb site. Nico's making a play now towards B, but the bomb's rotating back towards A, where Welded is just sitting like in a little garden on his own, just admiring the flowers. And he should hear the T's running up the slope now, and the rotation comes in. This is going to be crazy.
This is a sick round. Great strategy coming in from mousesports, but they need to get the frags as well. We've got Bondik and Wilder that are able to stop 2 players, and already it's down to Nico and next. Those are the 2 last men remaining. Nico has got to get it done. He's got no time, and he's going to get dropped by Shara. Goes down to the last man, but we will see another overtime.
Just when you thought it was safe to go to the toilet, 24-24 people. The reads in that game were, I couldn't even describe the situation that was going on towards the end there because it was too much going on at the same time. You had T's running into A, you had CTs rotating from B to A, you had T's behind those CTs running there, and you had CTs behind those T's, behind those CTs, running to those T's, Dan. It's absolutely bananas.
It's actually, that was one of the best rounds I've seen from mousesports from a strategical sense and how they played against the rotation. Because we actually haven't seen many rounds like that, if any, to be honest, where they create huge presence and they really sell the B play. And they get the full rotation of CTs into B. Then they hightail it with 3 players and they actually hit the pace really well. Because on a lot of fakes and rotations, some teams, they play it too slow and not fast enough. But they had the perfect pace straight into the A bomb site. There's one player, World at it, who was basically trapped in A long. It looked perfect from mousesports. They had 2 players running through connector, and they didn't even get blocked. They were able to get straight through connector and to block off like the rotation that was coming from B. So mousesports had an amazing setup there. But again, every time that Flipside really need a clutch, they somehow get it. It's amazing.
I wonder if World got some sound cues of the players running underneath him through mid. Because, or if it's just, I can't imagine how mentally taxing this is for in-game leaders, where it's like, hey, I'm going to rotate 4 people over towards the B-bomb site. Hold on, I think something else might be happening. Let's go back, lads. You know, all this kind of this kind of madness. But they got there just in the nick of time. Talk about cavalry. Came in like Hasselhoff on the beach. But here we are, 24-24. I don't know, because, you know, earlier on you'd say that Flipside were a stronger team, but now both teams are continuing to adjust. We have seen some good adjustments from both teams actually on their T side. We saw good adjustments, again, the drop zone being taken faster by Flipside, but then mousesports have made adjustments as well. They read a weakness in the setup of Flipside towards the A-bomb site and have exploited that time and time and time again. But now Flipside have a chance to think about, you know, they have 2 minutes to think about what happened there on our CT side, because they will continue now on their CT side, which is just about to start, and mousesports will be able to continue their attempted assaults on the A or B bomb sites.
Overtime 4, Flipside Tactics versus mousesports. It's the first match of the day, and it's not Chris J this time. It is Shara. Picks up the Scar, the auto sniper, and this match has really had an evolution, James. At first it looked like Flipside were crushing mousesports and they had everything, but now mousesports have found something special to keep themselves in this one. 24-24, unbelievable. So far, mousesports with 4 players towards the A side of the map.
Well, they've changed the A long setup now, where you had World holding an angle with an AWP. Now you've got Blade holding an angle, but he doesn't have an AWP, and World is going to get taken down with no answer from the CT, so this adjustment has not worked out for the CTs whatsoever. Down goes Blade as well, so it's going to be a retake with an auto sniper and 2 M4s. I don't think this is going to work out for Flipside here. Bondik is trying to reposition. They're smoked off as well, and you have to wonder if they have to save here, because they don't really have the utility. They've got 5 versus 3. See, I think that's a mistake, where they've swapped World at it and Blade around in that situation where Blade is holding, he's not even holding an angle, he's just looking at the wall basically, and he's peeking every so often, but once people are there, he either has to succeed or they're far too close to the site, and then the round is probably lost. So
yeah, Blade had a 1 versus 1 there, where that's insanely key. If he gets that 1 versus 1 and gets the opportunity to get another one, then based on that, his team can actually retake. But yeah, too much there is on him. He's like the linchpin.
Yeah, they have
too hard.
Yeah, they have no information, and they're not in a situation where they can wreck fast, like with an AWP, for example. I mean, in the previous situation where World got picked by Chris J, he should have got the frag there. He had the angle. The shadow comes first. He should get the frag there, and you know, part of it's like a confidence thing as well. You should know that most of the time he's getting that kill and leave him in that position. Yeah. Or mix it up again. There was one where he was closer to danger, and he could re-peek for days and just wreck the whole team.
Well, we'll have to see whether or not the auto sniper can come into play in any sense in this this round. As mousesports once again are going to win the first one of the 4th overtime. Oh, 4 overtimes! What is this? It's crazy, madness. And World is on the AWP, which Markov dropped for him. So Fast approach coming in here from Nico, looking to get a quick kill, and his pace is really sick, but those nades!
Thank you for playing.
Yeah, and I respect what Nico did there. Obviously, he's made to look the fool, but he's just, I mean, the nades usually don't come in that quickly.
And so many of them. That was like a cluster bomb in Worms, Dan.
Exactly, and that was just unlucky for Nico. He took a decent risk, I think, but...
Sometimes these things happen.
Yep.
So again, it's mousesports with the round advantage and the man disadvantage in this round. 2 snipers on the flip side team, while that it is just moving around. Blade is playing pretty deep on his own, so he should have some information here. Missing the initial shot, going for a long spray for repicks, but doesn't work out for him. Again, he's isolated, no trades for his team. So we're down to a 4 versus 4. Well, they're going to try and play the high ground, but it's risky because he's got nobody covering the angle where Chris J is currently lurking. He may go for a peek towards the balcony, but while that it may eventually be found. Again, this is high risk here from Flipside Tactics. They do have 2 people over towards the A-bomb site at present. Indeed, Bondik is holding the angle towards Chris J, but he does not have a sniper. Potentially spotting something, he's going to drop a flashbang, but the rest of the mousesports side are moving towards the B-bomb site where Shara is currently alone. He does have an auto sniper, but he's looking towards the drop, and if he gets flashed, then it won't be very useful.
Yeah, but here it is, though. They are going to get that push going in. They're going to throw it all in onto the B-bomb site. Obviously, that equalizer taking down Blade was pretty damn key here. And Chris J, he's going to get 1 towards A. That's going to be really painful now. So 2 versus 4 on the B-bomb site, and there's Shara still with the also sniper. Oh, but he catches the guy planting the bomb, and Markelov chimes in as well. And there's no time to get the plant, surely. Markelov, he could be able to do this. He will indeed stop the plant. Oh my goodness, what a ridiculous situation again.
There's nothing
between
these 2 teams.
There is
so many micro situations. This is madness. I thought...
Rip schedule.
Yeah. Shout outs to Adam. I didn't think... I thought like Shara was done. He's looking towards drop. He's not looking platform. If he looks platform, he's probably going to get flashed. What is he going to do with that auto sniper? Waits for the plant, of course. And we're at 25-25.
Yeah, that was really, really key.
They've got rid of the auto now as well, so it's going to be a different setup from the CT side. Wilded it down with the AWP, going to smoke off the mid area, where Dennis is currently lurking. And again, we've got Blade over towards A long. Hasn't really been successful this overtime with the adjustments they have made. And again, they're going to try and mix things up. And this is the aggression I'm talking about. From this position, although there's nobody, they have a smoke. The only thing they have is a smoke that stops mousesports from pushing mid. But mousesports have respected smokes pretty much all but 1 round that I can remember. And when they went through that smoke, they got wrecked. But here they go, moving through danger. Now Wild that it's going to have to be very careful indeed. I think he tagged 2 people at once indeed. Next got 12 HP, so that's a great start for them. And Blade is still in a strong position where he can do great damage to the remainder of mousesports.
Yeah, I don't know what mousesports really have to work with in this position because the rotation's starting to happen. Okay, Chris kills Blade, but Wilded throws in the nades. He's going to slow them down. He's just got 1 player close. Great shot from Wilded, dropping Dennis with the no-scope. And, I mean, Chris J on 12 health, next on 12 health. You can't expect too much from this position, but they're going to give it a go. Smoke down on the bomb site. It's going to make life even harder here for mousesports. At least this time they have time. Oh, the shot comes in. Markov gets picked out of the sky. Bondik will trade on to next, though. And it's all down to Chris J once again with the flick. Misses the shot, and Shara punishes him. A fatal mistake, fatal miss. And 26-25 now is the scoreline. Overtime 4. I have no words.
You just can't.
I just can't even. I don't even.
You can only
what
even,
is this?
and you can't even. Well, I'm glad that Wilded it, and well, Flipside made the decision to put Wilded it in a more aggressive position towards long, because that's what we were talking about. We saw him there only 1 time, and that time he killed at least 3 people. Obviously, you can't go there every single round, but having a bit more aggression where he can go for those repeaks and have those angles where people are just going to be running into him like lemmings off the side of a cliff. You know, that's going to be very favourable for him and his style of play, rather than having it so basically once you're engaging them, they're on top of the site, and if it doesn't go your way, if you're Blade, then you might lose the round.
Yeah, it's crazy. The amount of pressure is crazy. And I would expect to see more players kind of starting to break or make really big mistakes, but we're not really seeing the huge blunders. There's small mistakes here and there. Like for example, a few rounds ago, we saw that spot where I think it was Dennis or Spiddy who ran when he should have been walking, sort of thing.
Oh, like, on T main for the defuse on CT side.
On B plat, yeah. Yeah, and like small mistakes like that tend to happen. We haven't seen anything. Obviously that ended up costing them the round. But I mean, we haven't seen, really fatal flaws like a guy missing, kills that he really should hit. No one's really truly getting completely smashed under the pressure. So
yeah, I mean, the biggest one in my opinion was just the decision to rush B from Flipside in normal time, because I think that's a major turning point. But that's so long ago now.
it feels like an age ago. Yeah, it's really weird. Again, the evolution of this match, because mousesports have found ways to win T side rounds and CT rounds now. Whereas they're really struggling at the beginning. We saw the 12-3, I mean, them only picking up 3 T rounds in the normal time.
I think Markelov has had 1 kill in the last 7 rounds, because I remember him being at 48 kills at the end of an overtime, and he's only on 49 kills now. So he's not having the impact that he was in previous overtimes. We'll see if, well, I mean, in fairness, mousesports have been going more towards A than B, and he's been playing around the statue on B a lot of the time and getting a lot of kills there on the CT side. But Flipside are on the T side now, so we will see if he will continue his abuse of the underpass area. I mean, the drop zone area, excuse me. So we're going to have Bondik over towards A-Long, just holding the flank. We haven't seen, I don't think, a single push from CTs in that area, and you can see why, because it's always been covered by the opposing team. So while they're holding the angle, watch Shara moves forward. Again, this is a familiar setup to Flipside. They do this on A cache as well. A main when they on the T side, or that it will be early holding an angle while he has one teammate moving up close to the box. You can see Chris J is in the statue, under the legs, of course. See if this pays off. So more adjustments from both sides. 1 minute 10 on the clock. I'm wondering what Markelov is up to. Indeed, he is abusing the drop zone area, but he has a teammate in tow as well. Welded it with the AWP.
Yeah, there's been a healthy amount of variation considering the amount of overtimes. We're seeing still some newer setups already, setups coming into play, like the statue boost. Though that said, they've abandoned it now later into the round as they're feeling all the pressure towards drop. And indeed, there is quite a significant amount of players emerging there now.
Markelov's been dinked and finished off by Speedy as well.
Yeah, it's really nice here for Flipside now. They've, of course, lost a player, but they got the drop. And Bondik's in there. Can he get this kill? Oh, he was flashed for too long, and that's going to be a frag there for Speedy. 2 versus 4. That really didn't go according to plan now. They'll finally emerge out of the B plateau, and nobody's actually looking just yet. The smokes are down too, so Shara's going to get himself forward position. He's just charging into drop. They now know where he is. The bomb is not being planted just yet because Blade wants to try to support Shara, but the time is running down here. 15 seconds left on the clock. Shara tries to take the initial fight, and Blade going for a desperation plant. That round was a bit of a mess for Flipside in the end.
Well, another team loses the round going into a half, loses the lead, should I say, and the round. 26-26. So now we need a team to reach 28 rounds to take it in overtime 4. Otherwise, I'm going to get more grey hairs in this chair. AWP onto both sides, 4 AKs, 2 AKs onto the CT side, which might make a difference if people are quick enough on the trigger. We'll have to wait and see. 3 going over towards B for the CT side. Spiddy going through the drop zone, but he will play it from the outside, as has been the standard in this match from both teams. Dennis went for a quick peek towards A-Long, but he is moving back to join next now towards the mid area. Again, Flipside starting off very passive indeed. Markelov making a nuisance of himself, like a bad pupil trying to avoid detention here and continue his streak of terror.
Yeah, and we've got the double setup from Spiddy and Chris at the end of plateau. So again, variations on the setups. And Nico, instead of playing not nearer the tree position or so, due to that setup, he's holding connected because there's no presence otherwise in drop. And Markov has been such a, as you say, a terror towards that drop zone. It's quite surprising. Spiddy's going for the push on B plat. This is very aggressive. Typically, this is hard to pull off, but Spiddy's going to get the aggressive frag. No trade coming in, and he's going to fall back to safety. Or is he going to stay out there? Risky stuff.
That is well cheeky.
It is quite cheeky considering they already have the advantage now.
He's made the information play though, which means that mousesports are going to have 3 people over towards the A site. 39 seconds left. Markelov going to try and suggest that perhaps they're going to be going over towards B. Wilder's going to get wrecked by Chris J. And that's not causing any rotation. They've seen this before, where they've left Wilder to try and suggest that they're going to go to one site when in fact they're going to the other. So it seems that mousesports have the jump on Flipside's ideas now. But Blade and Markelov going for the split, but Bonda gets taken down as well. So everything's falling apart here for Flipside. 2 players left to make that one. Blade is alone, and his team are low on money.
So once again, we're going to see a situation where mousesports are in a commanding position, a chance again to win the match. And Flipside have to go for basically a clutch win.
This is the jumble sale by Dan. They've gone to their grandmother's house and sold all the family china, the heirlooms, the little coins, you know, from olden times, and they've managed to get out 2 pistols, 2 AKs, a Galil, and 3 smokes and a flashbang. The end may well be nigh, Dan, because this is the worst buy that Flipside have had in I don't know how many rounds. This is getting to like face it overtime levels at the moment.
Yeah, I bet the viewers are loving it. I wonder if any Dragon Laws have dropped yet, James, in all these cobblestone rounds. But either way, could all be over here. Flipside have been able to win these rounds miraculously more than once in previous in this match, and get a bit of pressure at the start of the round from Markov in towards the drop. He's going to back away, and it's just going to be a simple hit towards A because they don't have much to work with. They just got to go for it. And we're going to see Chris J with the spot. He's going to make the call here, and Dennis is going to smoke off the mid ramp. So these smokes, these nades from mousesports are going to be very hard to play around from Flipside. And there's Chris J. He's going to pick off Weld at it as they go through to the site. Another frag going Chris J's way, but somehow Flipside are pulling frags back. 3 kills in a row. What on earth is happening right now? It's down to Nex and down to Nico.
One is on the site, Nico still on the balcony. Is he going to get a double pick? It's Nico versus 3. He's taken 1 down. It is a clutch master for mousesports. Is he able to do this? Or are we going to die in these chairs down? Shara's down to 31 HP. Nico still stuck in the choke point, but they don't want to peek him. They want to try and set up for a crossfire. Don't know if he's at the door of the balcony. He's down on the floor now. Markelov's going to get taken down. Shara doesn't have much HP. He's going for the taps now. Shara's just holding behind that pillar. That pillar is all that is between mousesports and the finals, and Shara's going to take it somehow. He goes for the hero peak, Dan. And we are going to overtime 5. I'm going to cover this stage of urine.
I'm also just going to be a puddle. And actually, James, it's going to probably affect the players because they're right below us.
Dan, Markelov's still on 49 kills. He hasn't. I don't think he's had any kills in the last 2 sets of overtime.
Yep. Yeah,
in 12 rounds.
He's not been able to do pretty much anything.
If he starts killing again, does that mean Flipside are going to win the match?
It's so weird, isn't it? Because he was such a big part of Flipside getting to the overtimes, and then slowly started dropping off. And you know, the question is it? You know, I actually would say, you know, you can't really question his experience, obviously, because it's Markelov, for God's sake. But that
it's just adjustment, isn't it?
That would then suggest that it should be more based on the adjustments that the opposition have been making.
We have almost played 60 rounds, Dan, in a best of 1.
And not even in the best of the MR10 style of
MR5,
MR5 style of overtime. This is crazy.
I know. I mean, what do you say? What do you say at this point? It's overtime 5. And it resumes in 50 seconds again. So we've seen constant adjustments from both teams, and in those adjustments we've seen that Markelov has essentially become a redundant part of the team in terms of the way he's been playing the drop zone and how mousesports have adjusted to that and nullified his threat, essentially. So the question is, how do Flipside get him back into the game again? They will be continuing on the T side now, so they need to make that change. Otherwise, they may have more struggles. They were doing so well before. Even in the rounds they lost, it was almost losses. But now, some of the rounds they're losing are being absolutely stomped. I'm being told by the producer we have a replay package. So let's have a butchers at that. MLG transition. Let's go. Right, so this is the 3 versus 3. So Shara's just coming in man with the plan. It's his first LAN. Well, not LAN, but major. And he is putting in work for the team, but I mean, nerves of steel to clutch it, to keep his team in it. In that 1 versus 1, Nico just wrecking Bondik, who had the tightest of angles, and actually it was Markelov, who you'll see get shot in the, well, get shot very shortly indeed. They still weren't sure, despite the flash, whether he was coming door or balcony, and there it is.
This duel is so insane.
Nico was so patient to go for the taps here as well, and Shara doing exactly the same thing. And look at him just trying to push the site there, making sure he had the angle should Nico try to defuse.
That was so close, because Nico even got a couple bullets connecting.
Balls of steel there.
Rather Shara, but yeah. Okay, so let's do this then. So, 27-27, overtime
round 55 then, of this best of 1, first match of the day. Get wrecked schedule, of course.
Get wrecked schedule. The schedule is getting fully wrecked.
Indeed it is. What a perfect flashbang. They know the angle so well. Very studied, drilled team. They'll be looking to drill some cold steel into Chris J's head. He's had to reposition, but he still has another angle he can play with and support from a teammate. See how far they continue to push. The bomb is on the floor towards A-Long at present, although you never know where it's going to end up with Flipside.
Absolutely. Just the slow push, just getting those CTs further and further back into their own bomb site. And we got the play into the drop zone. Markov, let's see if he's able to get something done here. He's through to connector, so he's very key there. He's got some support as well. With him, Blade is going to take down Dennis. Shara's left in connector. And Markov opening things up onto the bomb site. Nico gets completely wrecked there by Shara, leaving just Spitty. And Shara is on point. 3 kills in the round for him. So very well executed round there. And usually we're seeing mousesports taking the early advantages in the overtimes, but now it's going to be a flip side.
Complete wipeout for the CT side. And they are going all in, Dan. They are going all in. Double AWP coming out. If they lose this round, then they'll probably win the next one, Dan, because that's what seems to happen.
By the way, it's actually Markov did hit the 50 bomb now, and Shara is on 49 kills.
Welcome back, Markolov.
Yeah.
All right, so Shara's been picking up the slack where Markolov's been dropping off. So let's see if these double AWPs are going to pay off for the mousesports side, because if it doesn't, then it might be the bitter end for one of these teams. Chris J's holding towards the B bomb site. You saw him jump into smoke there, but quickly made his exit, as it was quite risky. Nico is going to be holding a long now, so Chris J and Nico have switched and swapped positions. And again, the Molotov comes in, but will they be able to splash Nico off the position? No tag for Nico, and he's going to make his escape. He doesn't have a player in for support where the Ts are seeking him. Minute 15 on the clock here. Markov again back to his old tricks. Just being a pain in the behind, in the posterior, in the bottom, in the bum.
Derriere. Okay. Let's see if Bonnet can actually be successful here with this push. Looks like Dennis is actually just going to go straight through the angle there. Nico looking to get the trade, and he does. Bondic is going to hit the floor, cold, but again, well that it peaks. And Nico perhaps a little bit too greedy there.
What's important here is there are still 45 seconds left on the clock, and they don't know if Markolov is in the drop zone or not. So wherever the CTs try to rotate with the few members they have to be paranoid about any potential flanks here from Markolov. But he's choosing not to commit to the drop zone and rotate elsewhere. The bomb seems to be going towards A. Shara is running away now, but Speedy should hear that. And indeed, Speedy and Chris J are instantly rotating because they can hear Shara running away in the T main area.
Yeah, big play. They picked the right bomb side, of course, and it's Next right at the back. Let's see if Next can defend there. He's been smoked off. All the nades there going into the bomb side should give them a free plant, and Next is actually going to be taken down by the flames. So 2 versus 2 now. Chris J and Spitty looking for the clutch, the retake as the bomb is ticking. And the 2 players, both Ts, are on the bomb site. Chris J just stand up here, looks to see if he can get a quick flick on one of these players, and Spitty's working his way in on the other side. What did it now? This is very tough for him. Gets the first flick there. That's Chris J down. It's just Spitty behind that ledge. What did it? Looks for the shot, but he's completely missed it. And Spitty will pick it up. He'll get the defuse and the AWP to boot.
So the question is, how much money are the CTs going to have going into this last round? Are they going to be stretched on their utility in terms of grenades and so on? Again, the score is tied, but will everything be on their side going into the last round of the first half of overtime 5 in this best of 1 first match of the day? So you can see, like Next, for example, starting with $3,600. So we've got the UMP coming out again. Despite winning the round, they have the inferior buy. Double UMP for the CT side. So they just lost too many players in the last 2 rounds. But can they take it over the line? We've seen that sometimes the equipment hasn't even mattered in terms of who has won the round. Will it be true on this occasion? They've gone from two AWPs to 1 onto Chris J, and he is going to be going over towards the B bomb site again. They've got 4 men over there, so it's another adjustment they've made. Chris J going over towards B instead of A, where he's been potentially wasted for the team.
Oh, Next should have been able to have that kill. That's really tough now for mousesports. This pace is so fast. Spitty can't hold either. Markov picking up the entry there. Nico coming in to save the day with that UMP, taking down Bondic, but it is still a man disadvantage for the CT side of mousesports as Flipside Tactics make their rotation back in towards A, and Nico is going to be able to claim Markov, and that's going to open the channels up from that B bomb site into A. And that said, Flipside are not even on the bomb site just yet, so this is going to be a big deal to get that kill so quickly. So nades raining into the A bomb site now, as Flipside try to get that bomb planted, but here comes mousesports in force.
Oh, that perfect nade onto Dennis's feet, going to put him down to 60. He had so many flashes straight in his face as well, but they've got 2 CTs in position now. Blade trying to go for the peak there with his teammate, but they're going to be traded. Blade goes down, Dennis goes down, 2 versus 2. Still loads of time for the bomb to go down, but the bomb's on the floor in CT spawn. Well, it's going to be able to collect it, but he doesn't know where the second CT might be, and indeed, Nico's come out. He's on the APC. I think his head might have been spotted there. Or did it going to change his plant? Wherever he plants, it's going to be a gamble. Is Nico up for the challenge here? He's going to get taken down 1 versus 1 now. Chris J with the AWP versus Worlded on AWP himself with the AK. Chris J dancing around the APC. Might try to jump onto the roof perhaps. He's waiting for Worlded to peek in the wrong place, but it's a gamble for both players. Looking at Worlded trying to shoulder peek, and Chris J's gone down to the 5-7 here. Going to jump onto the roof. Worlded surely hears him. Doesn't get the angle in time. Headshot comes in, and it will be mousesports taking the advantage into the next round, despite starting with an UMP in this round.
My God, the level of clutch coming in on these rounds is something special. 29 to 28. It's hard to really have words to describe this match at this point. We've seen so much, and it doesn't seem to end. And it's such a great test of discipline for these teams. And luckily for them, they'll get quite a break after this match, if when it finally does end. It's just that.
What do you mean when it ends? What if it never ends, Dan?
It's well.
I don't see an ended sight. There's so many times the team with the weaker buy has won the round as well, and like so many times when we change halves or we start a half, the team with a 1-round lead loses immediately. Just tie after tie after tie after tie after tie.
There are so many rounds where the team that has the better strategy and the better position for the initial play loses the round. That has happened so many times now. It's unbelievable. That's why, like, when we saw Flipside, for example, just start the match with 12-3, that happened repeatedly.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was mousesports winning those situations where Flipside were playing really good, T sides, setting themselves up to win rounds, but they could never close them. And now this is happening to both of the teams now that are having this situation. Now we're getting spots where mousesports are playing some really sick setups and they're creating good opportunities, but then they can't close when it really matters. So it's
well, there are more questions to ask here. We saw the problems with that were caused to Flipside by mousesports' adjustments and realization that there was weakness towards A in terms of the setup between Blade and Worlded. We saw Blade get picked off loads of times with no answer in the previous overtime 4, of course. So now you have to ask yourselves, I mean, there was a bit of struggle and constant change on Flipside's team, trying to get things set up the right way. So now you have to wonder if they're going to continue to change that. How are they going to make things go back into their favor on their CT side, which is about to start.
It's funny, I think we're going to have all the teams arriving to watch this match because they're all like, hey guys, so what's going on? So time to play our match. Oh wait, there's still the first match going on.
We're still into game 1.
And shout outs to the over 800,000 people that I can see are watching at the moment. Crazy stuff here. And
interestingly, no AWPs on the T side for mousesports, so they've made more adjustments. Shout outs to Bath Salt Chickens. Right, so no AK for mousesports. They've decided that it's going to be better for them to all have AKs. Speaking of AWPs, well, that it takes down Speedy. I think I said no AK for mousesports. I meant no AWP. Well, there we go. They're at man disadvantage, and they're looking to take a drop quickly with numbers themselves. There's no split really to happen here. They've got Nico heading over towards A. Is he going to be good enough to get some work in?
Some damage, but the frags are coming now. Here for the CT side, Chris J still lurking in that connector area with the bomb as well, and the bomb's been spotted. Nico needs to open up the bomb side. He has to do that because there's no way for Chris J to get into the B side at this point, and he's doing a good job of it, taking down Blade, but Worlded is sick angle there, sick shot as Chris J is going to hit the floor cold. Just down to Nico now in a 1 versus 2. So it'll be a great moment for a clutch from Nico once again. 50 seconds left on the clock as he's holding onto the bomb, holding steady onto the angle, so patient. Will it pay off for Nico? Players on both angles, great shot as he turns around and finds Shara, nails him. Now it's just the 1 versus 1 against Worlded. Nico, can he pull this one off? The fight resumes once again, and the spray comes in. Nico takes down Worlded for the clutch. 1 versus 2. The big man of mousesports shows just how good he is once again.
2 match points at this point for mousesports. Flipside need to win both these rounds. Otherwise, well, we know we've been there before. Are they going to be able to do it? Now we have no AWP onto Flipside's team, despite those great picks from Wilded. Just so unlucky at the end. Very hard again. That's a big example of the that big nerf to AWP. The crouch peek in that situation might have been OP the way it used to be, but there we go. Actually, yeah, never mind. I could nerd out, Dan, but now's not the time. So we've got rifles all across the board. We've got reasonable amounts of nades as well. And again, it goes down to A for mousesports. A has been the key to opening up these rounds. The bomb is currently over towards B, but there's a minute 25 on the clock here. And again, adjusting the time of the drops. So many times we didn't really see them approach drop at all, but that was a big adjustment they had afforded to them, and it has paid off.
And Dennis goes in here through the window, finds himself the first open through to connector, leading the way for his team, and it's going to go quite well for mousesports now. 4 versus 3, they've taken control of connector again. It seems to be a weak point they're really picking off in these rounds, and it's Blade, though, that will defend from the balcony position, that will thin out the push that mousesports are starting to line up into that A bomb site. Frags all over the place at the moment. Chris J with another one. The trade comes in. 2 versus 2 now. And Spiddy with the response. Welded it now for the clutch here. Can he keep Flipside in this? Here he goes, looking for that shot. As they are toying with him, they know exactly where he is. And they do have time to go back to the other bomb site if they really want to try to do that. As they do search for Welded it here. Oh, he's repositioned. They might not know where he is. I think he's been spotted by Spiddy now. And Chris J nails him. And mousesports finally close it. After 5 overtimes, mousesports will eliminate Flipside Tactics and send them home.
59 rounds, Dan. 59 rounds in a best-of-1 elimination match, and somehow mousesports finally broke the deadlock and made it through to one more match.
I don't know, like, it just got to this point where it felt like the match was an inevitable victory for Flipside, to the point where it was impossible to predict, to the point where mousesports round after round kept their composure, and round after round you started to see that slight edge and individual skill and clutch worthiness started to slowly push them over the edge. But it was a question of when, and it finally happened despite a great performance from Shara. Shara really picked up the pieces in the overtime for the end. I say the overtime, the other match worth of overtimes for Flipside, as well as Markov getting them to that point.
I think what it came down to ultimately for mousesports was realizing with all these overtimes, hold on guys, the A site's pretty weak at the moment, you know, and all those encounters where they picked Blade off and eventually they just continued going A basically. They showed some presence towards B and it just went A again and again and again and again, and Flipside couldn't hold A down ultimately.
Yeah, I really liked how they were attacking connector and stuff in the last couple of rounds. It looked like they really figured it out, and I'm so curious to see, you know, how like, you know, what they thought of that match, their thoughts on a match like that, because that match is such an endurance battle as well, because there's multiple things going on there. You've got the pressure of the fact that you can be eliminated from the major, the first $1 million major here on American soil. That's a pretty big deal in of itself. And that takes experience to weather that challenge. Then it's just straight up, I've been playing a lot of Counter-Strike now. I'm getting, you know, you get more tired because you've got to focus so hard all the time. That and the pressure, and usually your individual skill is going to give at some point, or you're going to make more mistakes. But mousesports, they seem to keep themselves up together. Yeah,
and on the plus side, they're probably a better Cobble team now after after facing such an arduous task to finally topple Flipside. But what heartbreak for Flipside. I mean, again, we had, what, 5 overtimes, right? But really, I just go back to when they rushed B in normal time, when they had the buy, they had all the advantages. For me, that was where things went wrong for them. And I think we're going to have an interview with Mr. Puckett and Chris J down on the floor.
Mr. Puckett's indisposed right now, but instead you got me. Chris J, congratulations on a very hard-fought victory. I think everyone watching went through the mill. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was crazy. It felt, at the beginning, especially, it felt like we already lost the game. I think we started the first half behind 10-1 or something. Was many rounds we communicated bad, played bad, and just totally were out of the game. And CT side, we also made some really bad rounds. Felt also we were out of the game. Somehow we managed it to overtime. A few times in overtime, it also feels like we lost, or people kind of gave up in the team. Then suddenly someone made a sick clutch again, and we come back in it. It was really crazy roller coaster.
let's talk about the first half, as if you really want to talk about the first half of the game itself, because it wasn't good. So what went wrong for your T side? Because it was horrible.
Yeah, I don't know. They prepared good for us. We made some bad decisions, I guess, what to play. And not only that, even in like mid-rounds, rounds we maybe could win. I remember even the second round, we obviously had eco after we lost the pistol. We managed to get the first 2 frags, but somehow because we didn't talk good, I remember it was called one is in Chicken Hut, and somehow my brain didn't realize, so I didn't pay attention to Chicken Hut, and I got killed by that, and then it all falls apart, and shit like that happened. Bad communication, maybe not being on point, and they just played really good. So yeah, they made it super hard for us.
I mean, there seemed to be, we heard some shouting early on as well. It was like, I think it was 6-1, and you guys were just, yelling at each other, and then someone said, shut up. And it was like, wow, these guys are really tilted right now with each other. Yeah. So what changed? Because in the second half, you were all smiling, you're having fun. So what happened at halftime?
Well, what happened is, I guess, like lately we online had a few times before that we were behind 12-3, and we made comeback a few times. Somehow we have the confidence in the team that even if we're behind really bad, people are mad because we made mistakes, but then everybody can like turn a switch and think, okay, we can still do this if we just start to play good now. And we started to play good at some point, so we came back into it, yeah.
What about your own personal performance? A lot of people say this is a one-man team. What do you say to those people?
Well, quite often it's the case, but I think right now it wasn't really. I mean, maybe at the start, well, actually at the start Nico also didn't play so good. And I don't know, halfway the second half I started to play okay, I guess, and in overtimes it kept going. But at the start I played so bad. CT, I made some really bad decisions even against Eco. We almost lost, where I think Next then stepped up and got a lot of frags. Next played really good. He kept us in the game at the start. So yeah, I think everybody deserves credit for this game.
You're a humble guy, I know that anyway. But you had some great clutches in that game. I mean, in overtimes there were not 1, 2, or 3. There were 3 or 4 very big rounds where you came up big.
Yeah, but yeah, we only came to overtime because of my team. So.
All right, well, thank you very much. Congrats to Chris J. We'll see him again in the final game of his group. Let's find out the thoughts as they break it down as if they can on the analyst desk with Sir Scoots.
Thank you, Red Eye. And so you all know at home, the war is over.
Oh, dear.
Gentlemen, let me bring you into this conversation.
Scoots was 25 when that game started.
Yeah, I've lost more hair.
I was clean shaven.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so 5 overtimes.
Yeah.
Wilson!
Okay. A new major record. 5 overtimes.
Yeah. Don't say that like it's something good, though.
I'm prefacing this.
Okay.
And I think it's safe to say that while that was a long match, it was some really, really sloppy Counter-Strike on both sides.
I mean,
both sides.
Yeah, look, it's a game that's going to be remembered for almost all the wrong reasons in a way. It was intense, there's no doubt about it. There was a lot at stake, no doubt about it. But in terms of the level of Counter-Strike being played, absolutely horrifying. And in fact, I don't even really know which team to be more embarrassed for, frankly. I thought Flipside,
both T-sides.
You're 12-3 up. And if there's one team that consistently snatches defeat from the jaws of victory, it's Flipside. Every time they conspire to do it. They're like King Midas, but what they touch, it definitely isn't gold, put it that way. It's a different substance entirely. And then you've got mousesports. Well, look, they can only get 2 players turning up at any given time. Obviously, when you go to overtime, stats get padded out. They don't mean a lot. But, Spiddy at 1 clip per kill, like no spray control on the rifle, looking horrible in the first half. You got them literally running around the map trying to pad out their stats with eco frags. And again, it's Nico and Next that have dragged them kicking and screaming through that to even get it to overtime. Nico especially had so many high impact rounds. So, Chris is right when he goes, it's very often the case we're a one-man team. Well, don't be proud of that.
Yeah.
So seriously, obviously I'm a little bit on tilt because I did predict Flipside to win and they should have won it. But ultimately, that is a game where it's like, both teams have really put in a horrifying display.
So your quality analyst would have just predicted, Rich, that Flipside would lose in like a 7 overtime game.
Yeah, I know.
You're supposed to be psychic, right? You're supposed to know what's going to happen in the game. So.
But again, this is why predictions here. You've got 2 teams that just routinely underperform in big games. And I thought the veto was horrible for mousesports. I thought everything was against them. And once again, they should all be literally just kissing Nico's feet. It's just that simple. Like, without him, that's one in the books for Flipside, and that's what we're talking about now.
Robin, what do you think?
I think for the first half, mousesports, again, we were discussing it all, like this whole tournament so far, today and yesterday, with the one-man show Nico. And it clearly comes to show when you have that bad of a half, and then you look and Nico is just not on the server. On the flip side, Marklov actually he played great. Probably one of the better major games that he's had by far. And that was obviously, and then switching over to the CT side for mousesports, that's when Nico actually started, actually getting into the server. One thing to know for mousesports, it felt like during overtime they had more of an idea on what to do versus Flipside on their T side. So in regular time, they actually barely went towards like the drop zone on the T side, and that's something that Nico tends to do quite a bit. Rarely happened. On top of that, probably got away from it a little bit since he had an off game. Switching to overtime, you can clearly see there the difference between a team with high mental fortitude versus a team like Flipside or mousesports here, because the mistakes that happened, there were so many rounds where you're like, oh, the game is over here, they only need this one round, a 2-on-5, 2-on-4s, time running out when it really shouldn't be in a 2-on-1 situation. And then obviously, you get flustered, right? And then since there's no extra timeouts in overtime, or you don't really have any time to actually walk away from the PC a little bit and take a deep breath, then it's all about just that mental fortitude and just the experience of like, okay, we take a deep breath, just be calm, and let's just work together as a team. Because that rarely happened. That's why you saw these many overtimes, because again and again, both for Flipside and mousesports, there were unnecessary peeking, there were very questionable after-time positions. And then it doesn't really matter how good your retakes are or how bad your retakes are. You're getting these duels that you really shouldn't be getting, and all of a sudden you end up winning winning rounds because of it. And we saw that from both sides. Yeah. So overall, it wasn't really about who played good and who played bad. It was just about who actually managed to stay awake the longest in terms of like the overtime and just the mental awareness of like the whole overtime scenario.
Thorn, let me get your final thoughts on the matchup. I mean, to tag on to what Florence is saying here, one of the things, because we saw so many rounds and everyone got their chances in 1v1s and 1v2s and whatnot, you got a really good sense, actually, for how all the players' philosophy is in a 1vx or 2vx situation. And what you saw in this game was, aside from, I'll give credit, to Markelov, Nico, and maybe Blade. These players understand how to play smart, how to use the bomb, how to use the clock, when you have to attack, when you have to push, when you don't have to peek. Every other player in the game, practically, just continually peaked every scenario, no matter what. Like, there was rounds, I remember there was one round where, I think it was a round that, like, Flipside won, but they won it by, like, Shara pushing in a 1v1 where the time was almost run out, and essentially he just had to hide to win the round. So it's like for no reason, he's just giving them a chance to maybe win the game. So you saw this time and time again. That's why it felt like it was just a lottery in overtime, because it was like everyone's going to do these weird pushes, and it's just going to be who shoots bullets in the other guy. Whereas sometimes you don't have to play the game that way. You can make the other guy come to where you want to be. That's the whole thing. You have to understand the dynamic, and some of these players showed very poor understanding of that. Now, some of that might also be the fact that overtime's extremely high pressure. You know this one round can decide the whole game for you, and it's an elimination match, remember, so there are these other factors. In terms of actual good performances, there weren't many in the game, obviously, but you've got to first of all give credit to Markelov. Like, the thing about Markelov is he hasn't really been a big fragger for a long while in terms of, like, any consistency. This game, he came with big frags. One of the things I have noted about his career, though, I noticed this when I talked also to Hiko, who played with Flipside at ESWC last year, and he said the thing about Markelov is he's, like, a really smart player now. And it feels like he's kind of gone down the path that Neo has, where they can't be star players anymore. So like, okay, well, I have to figure out a way to contribute to my team still. I can't do it by just dropping 30 every time now. So now I've got to stay alive the longest. I've got to be the smartest. I've got to be positioned best. I've got to make up for like a deficiency of some other guy who overpeaks, you know. And in this particular sense, they're so good at anchoring bomb sites. And then the other guy, obviously, you have to credit is Nico. I mean, this guy is absolutely phenomenal. Like, people will think we're exaggerating. We're like, every game he shows up. You just saw there. Yeah, in the first half, he wasn't there, right? And everyone was like, oh, see, not every game. Yeah, and then what happened the next 50 rounds of the game? Yeah, he was carrying him on his back. I mean, at the end of the game, actually, I saw at his desk, he had a small pamphlet book. And I was like, what's that? And he goes, oh, it's this little book I'm reading called The Myth of Sisyphus. Like, I relate, man. I feel like it was written about me.
Oh, man.
Reference game incredibly on point, but not a U-Club.
No, just like a quick one that everyone's been praising Blade and what he's done for his in-game leadership. I think he's got to take a little bit of the blame for this one. They lost a bunch of 4-on-2s and 3-on-2s, and some of his executes and time management. You know, like if you leave 20 seconds on the clock and you're going on a bomb site again with 20 seconds on the clock and you've done it 3 rounds in a row, you know, you're going to get found out. So, yeah, just, I think he's got to take a little bit of the flack for that one.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Heck of a match. mousesports does win it in the end. They move forward. Unfortunately, that means an elimination for Flipside. We have another elimination match coming up after the commercial break, and this one's going to be FaZe and Splice. So you don't want to miss that one. Go get a little rest, get something to eat and drink. Crazy overtime. Hopefully this one won't go to 5, but you never know. Come back after the break.